That's a great way to start. Great way to start the podcast. Yeah, drink and I'll go.
Pause for edit.
We're always sick, Derek. We're always sick.
That's correct.
Why is life like this?
I think it's because we have young children in school.
Must be.
Or we both suck. It's one of those two.
One of those two. Maybe our immune systems are just really low. Because I don't remember being this sick when I was a kid.
It could also be COVID and everyone being away from each other for so long.
Yeah, I guess. But, well, this isn't COVID, what I have, thankfully.
No, I just mean everyone was segregated and wearing masks. So you didn't catch the regular things and fight it off or...
Yeah, your immune system went lower and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard talks of that being a problem when they were talking about...
Reopening.
Quarantine. Yeah.
It makes sense. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm on the wrong side. We gotta do this. There we go. It's a visual thing that people listening don't understand what I did, but...
No. It's a great podcasting.
We make that joke about 5 times an episode, too.
Mm-hmm. It's
Get
not
used
going to
to
stop.
Get used to it. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm all right. We've been talking a little bit on texting, but
yeah,
not a lot.
Not a lot.
I came to your house the other day when you were in the shower.
Whoa. Scandalous. That's OnlyFans content, man. Don't be bringing that for free.
I didn't see you in the shower. I stood outside and talked to your wife.
Yeah, you tried though. But.
Yeah. That's not what trying looks like.
Oh man. Yes, you did. You dropped off a controller stand for my 360, my Django 360.
Yeah, I figured. I meant to give that to you like a month ago, but my buddy didn't bring it into work because I asked him to print it for me on his 3D printer, and then he just delayed, and then I wasn't at work for a week, and then yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long delay. But
well,
you got it now, and it looks good.
It looks good in the display. Come to expos and exchanges and anything where I'm zending, and I'll be bringing it, and everyone can see. Everyone cannot see the controller stand because the idea is that it's hidden behind.
That's the idea. Yeah. Yep.
So, but it does look cool standing up, though. At least it brings a little bit more attention. It doesn't just fade into the base.
Yeah, the way it just sat down.
Yeah.
And you got a display case since our last podcast, too.
Yes, I got the display case. I got a football helmet display case from Michaels.
Yeah. Use a coupon?
Use the coupon.
You got to use a coupon at Michaels because their prices are too high.
Yeah.
Is that 40% off coupon?
I think it was 40% off, maybe. Yeah. It was a decent amount anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Xbox fits in it just, standing up. So there's just enough room.
Did you measure?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But it was going to be close, and I wasn't sure about the inset in the base.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
So, and there was a helmet stand glued in place, so I had to pull that off to make space. So it wasn't hard, but I just didn't want to damage anything.
Yeah,
if it was, you could put a mat. It's just like a little. It looks like a football.
We have one that's a football stand holder. One. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little cup disc thing.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Ours still has that in it for my wife's wedding bouquet.
Okay.
She did not remove that because she didn't want to wreck the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
came
pulled
out
on
good?
it slowly and it came out fine. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
You can always use
they
a hair
probably
dryer and warm
intended
it up.
People pull it out.
It does say in the thing you can take them off if you need to.
That's good.
So I was just like, it's in there pretty good though. You gotta work at it. But it's got that, what do you call it? That I also call it a gelatin glue.
I was gonna ask if it was that kind, the kind when you get a credit card mailed to you.
Yeah.
The kind that holds the card to the paper.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was hoping it was.
It's like the super glue version of that.
Oh, okay.
So it's really strong, but it didn't damage anything. So
that's good. Yeah. Because I think the case is usually painted wood at the bottom.
Yeah. But even if it did cause any damage, then I would just cut a mat or something like that to put inside, felt or something.
True. Yeah.
So you wouldn't notice it.
Yeah. So I'd be a fool and try and paint it.
I mean, you could. No one's really looking at it, and it would have been on top of like wherever the console would be anyway, so you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
So, no big deal. So, well, I knew you were at my house after you dropped the thing off because my wife.
Yeah, I didn't warn you ahead because I was just like, well, I think I was out. What the heck? What time of day? It was after work, I think. Yeah, it's right after work. And I figured I'm already on that side of town because my work's basically that side of town. And figured I'd go drop that off while I had a minute. So, but I did not tell you ahead of time because I was just like, whatever. You don't need to know that I'm coming. And if you're not there, that's fine. I figured you were going to be at work. But
Yeah. And you would have normally.
Yeah.
But I was home. I was home because I was sick.
Yep.
So, what day was that? Was that it was Friday, right?
What day it was.
I think it was Friday.
I just don't remember.
I believe it was.
I could find out, but it would be
fine.
very boring podcasting.
That's fine. I think it was Friday.
Knowing myself, I'll find out anyway.
Because my wife was also home.
Yeah.
Which was the day we were both home together. So Friday. No, not Friday. Thursday. I had to take my oldest to the doctor's appointment. And so that was like 1 o'clock-ish I had to take him. So went and picked him up, took him out early from school. Friday would have been a PD day. So no school that day.
Yep.
So anyways, pulled him out, went to the doctor's office, did the checkup, we got our things. Then I had to get I didn't have his health card, but you don't need a health card for kids, really, because they're just like, whatever, just take him.
In Canada.
In Canada, yes, sorry. But afterwards, I'm like, I got to go get some medicine, so I'm going to go grab his health card in case the pharmacy wants it. So I had to go buy my wife's work because she had his health card. So when I was on the way there, I just started feeling like garbage. Like I didn't feel great in the morning, but it was specifically the drive between the doctor and my wife's work when I just felt horrible. Like felt like I got hit by a bus. So I anyways got the health card, went to the pharmacy, did all that stuff, and I just was feeling more and more gross as we went by. And achy, like sore, achy. So it wasn't just like a cold. It wasn't just like a head thing or a stomach thing. It was like my joints were sore, my back was sore, my neck was sore. Everything was like cramping. And so I asked my son, I'm like, do you want to go back to school or do you just want to go home for the day? He's like, I want to go back to school. I'm like, if you go home with me, you can play Minecraft for the rest of the day. He's like, okay, we can go home. I'm like, perfect. Because I don't want to have to get up and have to go and pick you up from school again.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go back to work. So I'm just going to say that you're not feeling well and we're just going to go home. So
Your
I
boss
pulled my
listens
son.
to this, right?
So anyways, went home. He played Minecraft and I went to the couch and I fell asleep for like 3 hours. Like just out. And then still continued to feel like garbage when I woke up. So I'm like, all right, something's up. This isn't like just a thing that's going to go away. Anyways, tough to actually that night I was supposed to go to work on Friday, but then Thursday night I couldn't sleep. Same thing, chills, no fever, just chills, headache, achiness, soreness, whatever, restlessness, on and on and on through the night. So couldn't sleep. Anyways, I texted my boss in the morning and I was like, yeah, I'm not coming in. Not enough sleep. I'm in charge of a heavy vehicle. I'm not chancing my life or the lives of others for...
Let alone you don't feel good, right?
And I don't feel well. Exactly. So took Friday off. And then my wife at the same time did not feel well either. So she took Friday off. And then we sent the kids off to my parents so that we could just sit home and rest. And I'll get back to what I did that day later. But we'll build up. Saturday, same thing. Felt gross. Not getting any better. Now my throat's starting to hurt. Sunday, same thing. Monday, and it's just like, okay, we need to go to the doctor because this is not something that's doing what it should do. So, anyways, and then my youngest son also started complaining about a sore throat.
And the whole time you guys are COVID testing.
We've been COVID testing. We're not. It's not COVID.
Just for anybody thinking that.
Yeah, it's not COVID.
Because as soon as you guys said sore body, my brain went to COVID because I've heard people say that was the only side effect they had was sore body, sore muscles.
Well, that was like I didn't test right away, but on Friday my wife tested immediately, and and then we tested and nothing. Yeah. So, anyways, so we went to the doctor on Monday, and we all got tested for strep, and we all had strep throat. Mm. So that has been fun. And I would say I've had COVID and I've had strep. So far, strep is worse than COVID.
Did you get anything for it? Like, is it antibiotics or what?
Yeah, so it's antibiotics. Okay. So my oldest does not have strep, but my youngest does. So the three of us have it. So the three of us have our little medication parties at dinner time.
Banana flavored? Banana flavored?
I think no. My youngest has a fruit punch or something like that.
Okay.
We have three different medications because of my youngest is my youngest is not taking pills, so his is in like a liquid form.
Yeah.
My wife has one pill, but I can't have that pill because I'm allergic to something that's in it.
Oh, okay.
So I have a separate pill. Which I'm glad I'm allergic because she has to take 2 pills for 10 days, and I have 6 pills. I have to take 1 pill a day. So 1 pill a day I've got 2 left now. So yeah, it's easy. And they're half the size of what she has. I'm like, why don't you just recommend this? Just give everybody this pill.
Probably doesn't work as well.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe it's harder to get, or maybe it's
probably more expensive.
More expensive?
Maybe. So yeah, it's been a treat.
sounds great. Yeah.
But I'm no longer contagious, but you can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit.
A little bit. You just sound a little sexier, right?
Awesome.
A little lower pitch.
That's my point. That's what I'm trying to do. Just get strep constantly. So
then go into voice acting.
Awesome. Then I can stay home all day.
That would be great.
Yeah. So that's been my weekend. Been dealing with that and trying.
Great.
Yeah.
What did you do on the 7th or 8th of April?
7th or 8th.
Cryptic
You're
question.
making me look back.
I don't remember what day it was. That's the problem.
Friday, Saturday.
What happened the 5th of April? The Mario movie came out.
Oh, I was like, well, Mike, what are you talking about, man? I am so confused. No, I went on the 9th. That's why. I was like,
yes, I couldn't remember what day you went for sure. Yeah.
Yes, the Mario movie came out.
Yeah, we went on I don't remember, 7th or 8th, I think. I forget. I think it was middle of the day, so I think it was the 8th. No, it was Friday.
You went Friday,
it was another PA day.
Yeah.
So many PA days. Just 2 weeks apart, 2 PA days. Anyway, yeah, we went on the Friday the 7th. Yeah, we went and saw the Mario movie, went with the kids and wife, and we all enjoyed it. I don't have much more to say other than everyone else is saying.
Okay.
I can say things, but
let's say things. People want to hear our opinions.
I've heard people say that having Seth Rogen's voice in there was like, took you way out of the movie a little bit, and I can agree with that.
I can agree, but I don't care.
Mainly when he did his laugh, because he was trying too hard to be himself. But everything else wasn't bad. If anything, like Cranky Kong's voice was more like, what the? But I don't know who it was yet, so I don't know if that was actually actual voice or if he's putting on or what.
See, I didn't have a problem with Cranky's voice. I didn't really have a problem with Seth Rogen's voice either. Most people who had a problem with Seth Rogen's voice just have a problem with Seth Rogen in general. Yeah. So they just
I like him, but his voice, his laugh was he obviously did his
very
iconic
distinct. Yeah,
laugh.
It's very distinct. Yeah.
He could have done a normal laugh, I'm sure.
Well, you have to understand, he's not a voice actor, right? Like
he's a celebrity. Yeah.
He can only be Seth Rogen. He doesn't play different characters in all of his movies.
But he could have been coached to do a different laugh.
Yeah, but
I bet they wanted his laugh in there. So people would be like, oh, that's Seth Rogen.
Yeah. And it was fine. Like, I don't really...
It was fine. I agree. Yeah. And the movie itself was good. Like, really good. Yeah.
So, I do have a bit of a gripe though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just a bit. Okay. I want to preface this though by calming down all the Nintendo nerds. I like Mario.
There's Nintendo nerds?
There are a lot of them.
There's fanboys?
A lot of them. Okay, this movie is fine. It's a good movie for kids. It's perfectly fine for that. I just wanted it to be a little bit more. And not if you want nostalgia hits, if you want Easter eggs, if you want, a story of Mario fights Bowser and wins, done, that's it. And you
pandering. You're saying if you want pandering.
If you want pandering, this movie, that's what you get. And it's good for that.
In my mind, I think that's all we could have got because they didn't want to go too much outside and get criticism. And I hope that the next movie will be different.
And that's where I'm hoping is I'm hoping more. This is the building block, the stepping stone to more and more and more. Even everyone's complaining about Illumination, about their animation style, and it looked almost too realistic, and they should have gone a little bit more cartoony.
Oh,
I've heard that too.
I didn't hear that, but I didn't find it bad.
Well, when they're trying to you can see the stitching in Mario's clothing, that kind of stuff. It's just do we really need that level of detail in a Mario movie? Not Probably because not. We don't need it, but just you're focusing too much on the realism versus this is a guy who eats mushrooms and gets powers and you know what I mean?
I remember hearing about the first Shrek movie. When they were doing the first Shrek movie, the guys doing the 3D model of the girl were told, dial it back. She looks too real and not part of the universe anymore. Yeah. Because they were focusing too much on making her look real and impressive and everything. Yeah. So, I mean, I can kind of see the same kind of thing.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah. Where maybe they still did it across the board, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't bother me at all. We also watched it in 3D. My kids have never been
3D. Where did you watch it?
The theater by me.
So okay, because I've screwed this up so bad. Because I took my family and two of my niece and my nephew, because that was their Christmas present. We were going to take them to a movie, and they picked this one. In my head, I'm just I was looking through the listings and I saw an IMAX listing. I'm like, oh, perfect. An IMAX listing. I went to the IMAX theater. It was not in 3D. I was like, what's the purpose of
IMAX was 3D?
I always assume IMAX is 3D. Why else would you go to an IMAX?
I thought IMAX was just a big screen.
Anyways, I should have gone to a different theater because I was.
Yeah, my kids have never seen a 3D movie, I don't think.
Anyways, I assumed it was going to be 3D and it wasn't. Well, this is also my first time taking my youngest to a theater. He had never been to a movie theater before. He's only 3. So I didn't. It's kind of good that it wasn't 3D, but I was kind of hoping it was 3D. But either way. I also went to the wrong theater the first time. I bought tickets and then drove to the wrong theater. That was fun.
That's good.
Yeah, so that it was a quick run back into the cars and drive to the right theater. And we made it there and bought snacks and sat down just as the Nintendo thing was popping up on the screen. So we made it, but it was really close.
Yeah, so I see. Standard IMAX is 2D. IMAX 3D requires special classes.
Yeah.
But another question someone asked is IMAX considered 3D? And then they just start talking about IMAX 3D projectors. So I don't know. I'm assuming there's two different, there's IMAX and there's IMAX 3D is my guess.
Anyways, I guess it's kind of a good thing that I didn't get 3D just because of my youngest. I don't know how well he would have tolerated sitting there for that long with glasses on his face.
Yeah, that's why we've waited this long, right?
Yeah. So, oh well, maybe the next one.
Over 6.5 now-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Did we ever talk about our play date with our kids?
Oh, I'm not done with the Mario movie. Okay. Hold on a second. Yeah. Hold on.
I just thought of that. Continue with the Mario movie. Pause for edit.
We did talk about. I thought we did talk about play date with the kids.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure we did. Anyways, Mario movie. My other problem is Mario doesn't really grow in the movie. Like he doesn't have a character arc. He's just Mario.
Is that not good enough for you? You
Well,
wish he was more than Mario?
I wanted him to grow as a character, you know, like he's the same person at the beginning as he is at the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Mario is also not.
If
good
anything,
at
he
anything.
learned that his superpower is being stubborn and not giving up.
That's the thing. He has no powers. His power is he gets hit and he just gets back up.
So he's really tough. That's what Rocky Balboa lives for, right?
I was gonna say it's just Rocky 1. He's not good at boxing. He can just take a lot of hits.
Right? That's it.
Anyways, there's just a few things. There's just things like that. It's just like, yes, it's fine. I also would have liked to get more of a message rather than if, you know, family stays together and we're good, basically, like Mario and Luigi. They can do anything together. And the fact it came together so kind of feebly at the end, like they had no screen time together, essentially. At the end, it was just kind of like, Luigi's going to save Mario and then we're done. But there was no build up to that. You could just see Luigi was in a cage for half the movie. For actually all the movie, he was in a cage, essentially.
Yeah.
So he had nowhere to grow either. So where all of a sudden you get this courage from to look to save Mario? You know, just things like that. Again, these are just criticisms of the movie. It's still a good movie. Kids don't see it, but we do. I also would have liked to see a bit more of a theme or a moral through the movie, like a Pixar does, or even Illumination does with like the Despicable Me, of like, you know, Gru, who is a bad person and then he becomes a good person. You know, just some sort of transformation would have been good to see.
Yeah, I mean, Mario learns to platform, and we all try to do that in video games, so there's something.
Yeah, but then he doesn't even finish the level. He doesn't even finish it.
It's true. She lets him get away with not finishing it.
So what is it teaching kids? Good enough.
Just give up.
Good enough. If you get close, good enough.
That's pretty good.
You know what I mean? So, anyways, aside from those things, it's still a fun, entertaining movie. I just wanted a little bit more. But I feel like it wasn't Illumination. I think it was also just like Nintendo holding it back, saying we got to play it safe. We got to play it safe.
Nintendo is sanitizing and controlling it a lot.
Yeah, so
I think so.
I hope this is the stepping stone for the next one where they can, you know, do more of those things. But then it'll be like the last Jedi and just, you know, shit all over it. Shit all over the stepping stone.
Tell me how you really feel.
I don't know what that Ryan guy was thinking. All right. Moving on.
I was trying to find when I was at your place. I don't remember what for anymore. Something we said 10 minutes ago. Doesn't matter.
Well, you're talking about when your family came over to my house and we...
Yes, I was trying to figure out when we came over
yeah.
and had the play date to see if we could have talked about it since then, because I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure we talked about that at some episode.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Anyways, you came over, kids played, because our wives met. That's why.
Yes, we did talk about that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But
our wives met talking in front of my house. That was what we talked about.
Is it?
I think so.
Maybe.
Either way, we went over. You guys served us food.
Yes, we did.
Our kids played.
Yes,
they had fun.
That's good.
That's pretty much it.
Did they want to leave?
I don't think so. No.
No, that's always a good sign. When the kids don't want to leave, you know, okay, all right.
Yeah.
We survived. When the kids are asking when are we going home, then it's like, all right.
Well, and then we were about to leave, and then I said, "Oh, you should show Sean your video game basement," and then we didn't leave again.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Next, we're gonna have to invite you over sometime.
I'm waiting. I'm constantly looking at my Twitter DMs, waiting for an invite, and I'm just sad every day.
If I invite you over, you're gonna have to take some stuff home with you.
Well, I didn't say I'd come over right away. I'm waiting for the invite.
Okay, I'll make sure the invite's in the future then. Yeah, which is something we'll talk about later, I'm sure. Because I have that in my list of stuff to talk about.
Okay, I was leaving that for you if you wanted. I wasn't gonna.
Okay.
I wasn't. That's your prerogative. That's not my prerogative. What you want to disclose?
What did I do? I was looking at Kijiji, as I often do, which is like a Canadian Craigslist-ish, owned by eBay, actually. And I came across a guy selling a 3D printer. And I've been watching for a 3D printer for years now. I had one in 2012 or 13, and it was super expensive, special order from California off a Kickstarter that had just ended, and I bought like inventory right after the Kickstarter. But it was a really early model because this is a long time ago, and they had a lot of issues, or at least it was finicky to get set up and stuff, and the company didn't support it very good afterward. So I used it for, I don't know, a couple years and then just forgot about it and never bothered with it because of the finickiness of getting it flat, basically, was the big annoying part. And there was also like tons of upgrades you could do to fix other issues with it. I did some of them, but the ones that were going to cost like $100 or more, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So it just sat in my garage forever. And then last year I was climbing in my garage to like fix the garage door opener or something like that, and I stepped on it and broke the glass bed. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just parts now. Tried selling it on Kijiji a couple times, but people would just offer me way too little money, and the parts in it were worth more than what they were offering. So I'm not going to bother. Didn't bother. So anyway, I found this guy selling a 3D printer, and it was one that my friend has the previous year model of, or the previous model of. So he's been happy with his for the past 5 years. So I picked this one up. My friend bought his 5 years ago or so for $650. It seems like it still costs that from like Chinese websites.
Oh, wow.
I should double check to make sure that I'm not crazy and that is the truth. But this is a Creality CR10 V3 is what I bought. If I check what that's worth, I don't, Amazon, AliExpress, I don't know.
Something.
Anyway, so like $615 on Amazon.
Wow.
.ca. And this one that I've got also has a couple upgrades in it too, like the bed leveling, automatic bed leveling, and upgraded motherboard and stuff like that. So anyway, the guy was selling it for $375, and he said it's brand new. I just set it up and did one test print, and he showed the test print to see how good it printed and that it works. And I've seen him posting for a while, since I've been watching these listings for a while. I've seen that same guy posting, and he seems to fix up printers that are broken and sell them. So I don't know if he got this cheap somewhere, like Crazy Bins or something, and fixed it up and got it working. He upgraded the motherboard, so maybe the motherboard was bad. I don't know. But I was like, would you take $350? And he's like, yeah, for sure. So I went over there. He's in the Laurelwood area, so not too far away from me.
Not too far from you, yeah.
I went there, and he showed it to me, and he's got another one sitting there on the ground. He's got more listings and stuff, and he seemed to know exactly what he's talking about. And I bought it from him, brought it home. Then I had to wait for filament because I ordered some online, and then I went to Canada Computers locally to grab one because I was in a hurry, and then used that. And then I had some questions for him about what was it? I forget what I asked him about. It wasn't a problem I had because it started working good. Oh, just settings. What settings to use for like what temperature the end should be and all kinds of just settings in general. And he gave me suggestions, and everything he suggested seemed to make sense to me and my friend Rob, who's got another printer. So we were impressed with the guy's ability to help me out and also troubleshoot. I think I gave him one problem or something like that, and he gave good options for troubleshooting it. But and so that was good. I'm very happy with that, and it was a really good deal. So I have a 3D printer, and I've already gone through over a kilogram of filament since I bought it. So yep.
You should offer him the one you stepped on.
I tried selling it locally, and I think he might have been one of the guys that contacted me, but it's just the parts are so old it's not worth it to anybody.
Yeah.
So I disassembled the one that I stepped on. I took it apart, and I have all the parts in a box just in case I need them for either this one or just parts in general for other projects.
Okay.
I was actually going to make a plotter pen. Like you can use a 3D printer without the height axis to just do a pen. Actually, you still want the height axis because you want to lift it, but you can make a pen that just draws pictures for you, and you can pre-program pictures and put them in for it to draw cool things.
Yeah.
So I thought about doing that with it, but again, I don't really have time to screw around with it. So maybe someday.
So what have you been printing?
Oh, a ton of things. A lot of things for the printer. So the printer's right here above me. If anybody's
see the filament
watching,
there, yeah.
that's the filament. So I printed a new filament holder for it that has bearings in it to make it spin smoother.
Okay.
And then that also made the filament stick out a little further. So in doing that, then the filament, there's a run out detector that the filament goes through, that if it runs out, it stops your print. Well, that thing then was rubbing, or the filament was rubbing on the side because that thing wasn't sticking out far enough. So I made a thing that moves that over just a couple inches. And then I 3D printed, so you know Mario Lego.
Yeah.
You have costumes for your Mario guys.
Yeah.
This person on Thingiverse, which is where a lot of free models are, and I've been on there since my old printer, they have what they call a mannequin. It's basically like just a custom block that goes in the Mario costume, and the hat clicks on top, just to keep everything together.
Yeah.
So I printed all like 8 of those for my kids' costumes for Mario Lego. I tend to put the things that I print into practice and forget about them. I printed little tube stoppers for 2x2 inch square tubing for my custom desk here.
Okay. Yeah.
I had printed those in the past with my old printer, but they weren't as strong because I had a bad design, and then I reprinted them, and I only printed one before I started having issues with the printer. So I printed 4 of those for the caps here, and then I realized I could use 2 more over there, and I had to print those. What else did I printed? I did print a VHS tape cleaner where you put the VHS tape in, and then you hook up a crank and spin it with cloth in it and isopropyl alcohol to clean a VHS tape.
Okay.
It did not turn out great. I don't know it's just a really bad design the guy made. What else have I printed? I printed a camera holder for the 3D printer to hold a camera that's pointing at the 3D printer that I can watch remotely to see if the print is working.
Okay.
And then I set up a Raspberry Pi, and I 3D printed the case for the Raspberry Pi that sits on top of the 3D printer power box and has screw holes that go into that. 3D printed some battery holders for AA and AAA rechargeable batteries here. My son's TV VCR combo that I had talked about last time, the 13-inch TV, the battery cover for that TV was broken. The little hook on it was broken.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, 2 hooks. There's one on the one side and one on the other side that you're used to seeing.
Yeah.
So I designed that in a 3D program and printed that off. And after like 4 or 5 revisions of it, I came up with like a perfect remote cover for that. Like it just fits like original. It's great. So I did that as well. And that was fun, prototyping and coming up with the right measurements and stuff. I don't know. I printed a bunch of other stuff I can't even remember.
That's cool.
I made this like Mario character with like slinky legs. So you like shake him around, his legs move, or you can pose them and stuff.
Yeah.
And that prints in place. You don't assemble it at all, which is pretty cool. And then there's an octopus that I made for my daughter because I figured the Mario is basically going to be for my son. Make one for my daughter too. So I made an octopus one too. Those are just silly little toys to have.
Yep. Cool.
3D printer.
I've thought about getting into 3D printing, but I was like, I don't have enough time. I'll just get people to do it for me.
I know someone.
I know someone.
It was like literally
time.
Before I got that 3D printed thing from my friend for you, I already had my printer and I could have printed the part for you. But he also printed me all the hooks that go in the controller holders behind me.
Okay,
all the ones that hold all the various controllers. So, but most of those I had to customize the shape of because those plexiglass doors close. And almost every model that people had made for like Xbox 360 controllers, PS3 controllers, they weren't tight enough in towards the wall for them to fit inside that. So a lot of them I had to modify to make smaller. But when I do modify something like that, I repost mine on Thingiverse as what they call a remix of the other person's design. So if someone else is searching and they find the other person's design, they can see all the people who have either made it or remixed it or commented on it or whatever else.
Yeah.
So you can always share them that way. I really like that about the Thingiverse.
Yeah.
Which is the website where people share that stuff. That's Thing, Thingiverse, VERSE. If anybody's curious to go look at a whole bunch of 3D models of cool stuff you make. And if you
Hey,
ever want
guys.
me to print you something, go there.
Go there, and I'll be like, print this for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've done that. I think I've sent stuff to Hodge I was like, here, can you get Paula to print this for me?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I'll just send it to you.
Yep. I'm local, so it's easy.
It's easy. Cool.
I feel like I've talked too much.
No, you know what? It's good. There's not a whole lot on my end other than being sick.
Well, I can continue talking if you'd like.
Well, I also spent money. You spent
Yeah, you
money.
did.
I spent some money.
You spent some money?
I spent some money.
What'd you spend some money on?
Not what you think I'm going to talk about, but
I don't think you're going to, because you told me you were going to leave it up to me to talk about.
I bought a new pair of Bluetooth earbuds.
I thought you were going to say shoes. I was like, wow. Cool.
Bluetooth shoes? Bluetooth shoes?
They probably have those.
Probably.
Bluetooth earbuds.
Bluetooth earbuds. So
What'd you get?
I went out and I bought the most expensive Bluetooth earbuds I've ever bought in my entire life. Not the ones you could ever buy.
$30?
No, they're more.
I probably should have told you about this deal that I have for Bluetooth headphones.
You probably
Bluetooth
should.
Earbuds. I definitely should have.
Well,
It's a really good deal.
Hold on to that thought. Anyways, so I bought these ones, the Sony WF C500s.
Okay.
They were on sale for $100.
That's expensive for
It is
Bluetooth
expensive.
headphones. I mean, especially by my standard, but that I'll get into after.
Anyways, they were really nice. I've only ever bought like really cheap ones, like
Yeah.
$30 headphones,
Yeah.
earbuds, that kind
That's
of
the
stuff.
price range I'm at. Is, but I have an extra deal on top of that. So
Anyways, so I bought these because I'm like, you know what? It's one of those things where I use my earbuds all day, every day. So why
in
not
the truck?
in the truck? So why not invest in something that will last all day? Because these will last for 8 hours on, which for earbuds is unheard of almost. Most, unless they have, like, these are the truly wireless ones, right? So if you get ones with like a wire in between with a control,
Yeah, no.
those ones you can get to last longer, but like the truly wireless ones to get like 8 to 10 hours out of a single charge, pretty hard to come by. So I saw these had that. They're comfortable. They sound awesome. So like, whatever, they're on sale for $100. I'll just go and do it. Thursday comes. Last Thursday when I had to take my son to the hospital. Not the hospital, to the doctor.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go in my grubby garbage clothes to the doctor's office. So I picked him up from school. We came home. I changed quickly. In the meantime, took my earbuds out because I didn't have time to put them in the case. I threw them in my work jacket pocket. And then I took it to the doctor. When I came back, I didn't think about it. Then I was feeling sick. So whatever, did the whole sick thing for 3 days. Sunday comes. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go to work on Monday. I better wash my clothes, my work clothes. You can tell where this is going.
I can tell where this is going.
Yes, I washed my Bluetooth earbuds, my $100 Bluetooth earbuds. Because I didn't think about it. They're still in my work jacket. And I never do that. I'd had them for like 2 weeks only. And now they're washed.
And they have no waterproof rating on them.
They're like not for being spun around in a washing machine.
Yeah, I figure, or submerged or anything like that.
They can get wet, like sprinkled
Yeah.
on, but they can't be submerged for that long. No, so
Yeah, like IP40 something, I don't remember.
yeah.
Well, then you may need to know about this.
I was like, that's why I said,
headphone
hold on to that
deal.
thought. I may need that Bluetooth earbud deal because I am looking at buying the same ones again.
Well, so when I listen to use Bluetooth earphones, I usually use one side or the other. Like if I'm doing dishes at home or something like that.
Yeah.
But about 3 years ago, maybe, I got told by a friend of my wife's friend. My wife had a friend, and her husband told me when we went to go hang out with their kid, and like let the kids do a play date, that he gets free headphones from this company who sends him pairs for review on Amazon.
Oh.
So what you do is you buy the headphones from Amazon. They will immediately PayPal you the amount that you paid,
Okay.
and then you write a review whenever you feel like it.
Okay.
So the company that sells the headphones is Sound Peats. That's what
Sound
they were called.
Okay.
They've renamed themselves, maybe because of Amazon not letting them do this thing. I don't know, but they seem to have lots of reviews. But they're now called True Free.
Okay.
So if you look for True Free Bluetooth earphones and you check them out, most of those pairs you can get for free from them at some point or another. I've gotten 6 or 7 pairs from them, I think. I should probably stop. But I keep wanting to try the different styles and different types of headphones to see. Like there's one pair that they sit on your ears, but they don't go in your ear. It kind of like has little speakers that point sound at your ear, and then it loops around the back of your ear and connects at the back. And I found those are very good for working around the house and still being able to hear what's going on in the house.
Yeah.
Whereas the other pairs I have, most of them they go in your ear with the like rubbery
sound
thing.
isolating.
Yeah. Most of the pairs are that. And then they also have the iPod or whatever the hell they're called.
AirPods.
AirPod shape ones as well. Yeah. That are more just plastic in your ear, which I find uncomfortable. Yeah. So I've had several pairs of each of those. And I still have them all. I mean, I could just clean a pair and give them to you that I'm not using anymore as well.
That's do you just
possible.
Do you just buy them and they just contact you, or
so they ask whoever they've got doing it already to always refer anyone they want.
Okay.
So that's what this guy did. He referred me to them. They emailed me and said, okay, here's the ones we've got available for review right now. Yeah. And they basically make it sound like you're a YouTube reviewer type thing. Like, oh, thanks for considering reviewing our product. We'll completely reimburse you. Just leave a review and send us a link to the review. They never say it has to be a good review.
Yeah. They just want
But the second last ones I did, the ones that go around the back of your neck, they say that they're waterproof.
Okay.
So I used them in the shower the one time, and they completely cut out and started doing weird distortion things when I was using them in the shower because they got slightly wet.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't even washed my hair, for example, with them on. Like the one side got slightly wet and they cut out. So I didn't post a review.
This is how Derek
well, they're
dies.
Bluetooth. It's like 3.5 volts. I'll be fine. I kind of didn't review those ones, and I thought, okay, I'm done here. I'm never going to get headphones from these people again. So they send out another email with another set, and I forget what it was about them. Oh, the case is so much smaller on the new ones. And I'm like, I'd like to try those ones because that case looks like it fits better in your pocket. So I replied to the email saying I'd like to try those ones. And they sent back saying, oh, we never got a review for that last one. So I was blatantly honest, and I just said, honestly, I had an issue with those last ones. I didn't want to leave a negative review, and I didn't want to do a return on something that I got for free. So I did nothing. And they replied back with, totally understandable. If you still want these new ones, let's go ahead and do that. I'm like, okay, sounds good. So I also did I also referred my mom to them, and she got a pair for free from them as well.
Okay.
So it definitely works. I referred a couple friends, and none of them seem to have done it. I don't know if they're just being lazy or what, but yeah.
Well, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe I should just send them your information.
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
I actually have just a few extra earbuds around.
Yeah.
It may not be my daily.
I've got too many pairs later.
Yeah. So. Well, this isn't the end of my. So I haven't replaced these ones yet. What does it say? IPX. These are IPX4 rated, whatever that is.
Yeah. So the first number is dust. The second number is water, I think. I don't know. I learned about it from work, and I just forget it all.
So,
but you can Google it, IP rating chart.
Yeah,
and it'll give you an idea of what the things mean. It's basically the size of the dust on the first number and the amount of water on the second number, or
something like that.
Yeah, whether it's like splashes or jets or submerged and that kind of stuff of the water. Yeah. X4 means it's protected against splashed water from all directions for 5 minutes, and then a pressure rating. So, not a lot.
Not washing machine.
No, not. That would be like a 7 or a 9, I think. 7 or 8. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I tried the whole like
8.
putting them in rice. Tried to see if I could dry them out.
Yeah. If you could remove the battery, that probably would have helped.
I
But of
can't,
course you
so-
can't. So yeah.
Not without wrecking it.
All right.
So
Yeah. You want me to send him your email address to these people? Because otherwise I'll forget.
depends on which email you're sending them.
Your Josh one?
Not my full name one though, right?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Sure, send them that one.
I'll at least create a draft email so I remember to do it later.
And then what was it? Monday. That's when my youngest son said he was feeling sick. So he stayed home with my wife because at that point he can't go to daycare anyway because we had a doctor's appointment. So that's when we found out we had strep and whatever. But before we knew we had strep, he was not going to school because he felt sick. My wife still wasn't feeling well enough to go in, so she stayed home. So I went to work, and then I got a phone call. Or not a phone call, I got a text message around maybe 10 o'clock saying, oh, he threw up all over the couch. And I'm like, okay, so it's probably a good thing he didn't go to school or didn't go to daycare. And then about, I want to say 3 or 4 hours later, I get a message on Messenger from my wife saying, I put my phone through the wash.
Oh my God.
The washer strikes again.
Maybe you need to start hand washing your laundry.
Clearly.
Or maybe just emptying pockets.
Oh, apparently, well, they were both on the couch, and he threw up on the blanket, and she picked up the blanket and threw the blanket in the wash, and her phone was in there as well. So that went. So this is where I had to spend money, because now I had to go out and buy a new phone for my wife.
Yeah,
So.
I haven't bought a new phone for me or my wife in like 4 years.
Well, we haven't either. Like, she hasn't bought a phone in 5 years. I haven't bought a phone in five-ish years. So, anyways, I finally went out, and she's been talking about maybe getting a new phone. So I was like, you did this on purpose, didn't you? You just wanted a new phone. So, anyways, we've been dealing with. I'm trying to do now some data recovery from that phone.
Oh boy.
I've disassembled it. It is not meant to be disassembled by me.
What
it's got a
model is
it's
this?
an Galaxy S9.
Okay. Yeah,
It's got a glass back, which doesn't have a back on it anymore because I've broken it to get it off.
Yeah.
Pulled everything out. It's been, a couple days in rice, still water. Last night, pulled the back off.
But that is waterproof, right?
At some point it
We'll
was,
look it
but
up.
again,
Yeah.
maybe not washing machine proof.
Yeah.
It's that spinning around. It forces water into like places it's not.
Yeah. It's rated at 68, which should mean in water up to a meter, but it probably only for 5 minutes, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it was in there for 20 minutes at least. Being spun around and jostled and...
Well, it says 30 minutes, but the spinning around is probably what isn't
Doesn't
tested
help it.
for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1 meter for 30 minutes should have been fine, but yeah.
So, anyways, it's I had it on today for a little bit. I managed to get some pictures off, and then it started flickering, and then it turned off again. So it's back in rice. So we'll see.
Yeah, I
what
was gonna
happens.
say the flickering sounds like it's not dry yet.
It's been in the rice for like 3 days. So
Yeah, I would leave it for a whole week.
oh man.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
yeah, I'll leave it
blowing,
in for.
blowing warm air into it would help.
So that's what I did last night. I had the whole thing apart. I took my air duster and blew water out. I took a hair dryer and blew at it from a distance for like 15-20 minutes, trying to just warm it up and evaporate. So we'll see. And then it was in rice for 24 hours.
The problem is with waterproofing comes the inability to get water out if it gets in.
Yeah. Well, this is like I've unscrewed the motherboard to try to get stuff out.
Okay.
And it's not just like I've pulled the back off. Like I've taken
Yeah.
off the NFC thing, so it's not blocking. So I've taken off what I can to try to get stuff in. I don't want to take off too much because I don't want the phone to stop working.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it's dependent on to turn on. So yeah, it's been an adventure. So the washing machine has cost me so far like almost $600.
I would say it's maybe not the washing machine's fault.
Derek, don't take this from me. Okay? But oh well. Okay. At least I've had some good sales, some good local sales, so I've been able to cover some of the stuff. So
yeah,
it's I
got my phone replaced under warranty for a battery drain issue, I think, back in 2020, and that was just at the end of the warranty of 2-year warranty. So yeah, I don't.
My phone is not under warranty anymore. So.
Yeah, mine's definitely not anymore. After I did the warranty exchange on that one, I think they only gave you like 90 days or something like that.
Yeah, it's like
on the new one. Yeah, you've consumed that credit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've welcomed my family into my wife into the Pixel family.
Yeah, I do like my Pixel.
So I got her a 6A. They're on sale right now, so I got her a 6A.
I did actually talk to the Polykill people and say if I did replace my phone, because they were talking about Pixels already. Yeah. Like, I was thinking of getting like the 4, 5, or 6. Yeah. And they said 5A and 6, I think, were ones they definitely recommended. I forget.
Okay.
It was Josh, not creepy Josh,
Frantic
Josh. Yeah. Frantic Josh and someone else said that.
You can't really get the 6 right now. I mean, unless you're buying used.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You'd have to. The 7 right now is on sale, and I've only heard good things as well. So
yeah, that's the problem. Is I don't want to buy something that new. I want something older. I don't need a brand new model because I want it cheaper.
Yeah.
So like I want a $200 to $300 phone at the most.
Okay.
And nobody offers that's still a decent phone right now. But I have seen brand new old phones sometimes on Facebook pop up because someone did a warranty exchange, but they've already upgraded or something like that.
Yeah. So
I've thought about that a couple times.
Yeah. The Pixel 6a right now is on sale for $450, and that's buying it outright. So.
I'm too cheap for that. Yeah.
It was kind of a desperate. I'm like, I need a good phone.
For sure. When you're in a pinch, that totally makes sense.
And
I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying I wish there was better options for cheap phones.
It's a good phone for not that much money, really.
How much do you say it was? 6A for
6A for $450.
Because there's one on Kijiji or on Facebook Marketplace, 6A brand new 128 gig for $425. Not from a store.
Yeah.
So of course your warranty is going to be difficult, if not impossible, to get this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to walk in to the store and walk out.
So. Yeah, there is one for $400, and they have 2 of them.
Are they brand new or are they opened?
It says brand new.
Okay. These must have all popped up because none of these were available when I looked.
I've got 2 left. What do they say? It was listed 11 weeks ago.
Oh, who knows then?
Who knows?
We have random search. Like you and I will both look at the same thing and we'll get different listings.
Yeah.
So
my wife and I sometimes will open up our Facebook Marketplace next to each other and just see all the weird stuff we see. Like I'll see tools and video games and computer stuff, and she sees like knitting and clothes and house stuff, and I'm just like, wow, Marketplace can be so different for different people.
The algorithm is strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So. I don't want to buy any phone. I don't want to buy any phone. What else? What else where'd my lists go? Here's my lists. So I picked up, now I forget the story behind it because it's been so long since I got it, but I picked up a DVD recorder VCR combo.
I think I saw that you posted that on Twitter.
Yes, I did post it on Twitter. And I believe right after I got it, Joe messaged me and said, keep an eye out for one for me. So I picked up another one for me. I picked up one that was broken. It was supposed to be $10. The DVD side worked, but the VCR side didn't. So she said, you put it in, tape starts playing, and then it just stops and powers off. Turn it back on, it ejects. So she's like, I just don't want it to go to a landfill. If you think you can fix it, great. Use it as just DVD player, whatever.
Yeah.
I went to pick it up, and she tells me this, and then I went to give her the money, and she says, just take it. I just don't want it to go to landfill. So she wouldn't take the $10. Okay. So I got it for free. I got it home. I think the next day I got time to tinker with it, opened it up, tried figuring out problems and couldn't figure out what was happening. Checked out tons of YouTube videos on this and similar models. It turns out, I think it was Magnavox. I think Magnavox makes one that's the exact same as this one. And I found one guy who made a video that told what looked like the same issue. So I did what he said, which is like literally taking out this little piece of plastic that they call a prism. And underneath it, there's an LED light that emits infrared, and just clean that.
Okay.
So I did that, and the tape just starts playing.
Oh, perfect.
And then when you have the lid off, so that thing emits infrared light, and it's split 3 ways for it to tell how much tape there is left, I think, on each end, and then something else for one of the gears to tell it the gear's turning. And if any one of those detects light, then it knows that something's in the way or something. It's at a certain part of the tape or whatever. So if you are working on the equipment and light reaches those sensors, it might think the tape is at the end and just stop, or start rewinding is the one thing it did if I take the cover right off. So it did something weird, which wasn't just rewinding, and I thought it didn't fix the problem. So I deleted my comment on the guy's YouTube video that I just posted saying, you fixed my issue, you're my hero, blah, 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 blah. I can't find anyone else with the same information. And then I put the cover on fully, and it worked. And I've been using it for days now, and it hasn't had a problem. So it's definitely fixed, and that fix definitely worked. It's just the one time I think I wasn't covering it well enough because those light sensors, but
yeah, they're probably so particular. Those things are so complicated, like, holy.
Yeah, but I'm figuring them out slowly. It's just there's a lot of things to it. Yeah,
it's becoming the new. It's becoming the new retro thing, right? Like everyone's into it, so people got to learn how to fix them.
Yeah. This
is where we were with video games when I started. Like people didn't really know how to fix Super Nintendos or Genesis.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And now we know how to do them. Like how many Genesis I got rid of because I didn't know how to fix them. So I just sold them for parts for $5, even though it was probably an easy fix.
Yeah, or that PS2 laser issue, and
GameCube,
same thing, laser issue. But the first DVD recorder VCR that I got, actually has a sticker on the side of it from 2020 saying it was repaired by this shop in town here.
Oh, okay.
And that place still exists. It's the one on the corner of like Ottawa and Mill that has like, I think it's Mill, and it has like satellite piracy type stickers all over it.
Yeah, Saigon.
That place, Saigon Tech, exactly. So it has a sticker from there saying it was fixed in 2010. So I wonder if they still do that, or if they're capable of it.
Yeah,
because that'd be pretty cool if they fix them.
That would be cool.
Because there is a Betamax player in town that someone's selling for $45, but it doesn't eject, or it ejects the tape right away. I forget what it is.
Give it to Bill; he'll fix it.
Or he'll try. Maybe
he'll just start poking around and it'll work.
Well, it's worked for me so far. I fixed one just poking around and lubricating things. Yeah. My Sony I fixed it. And then this one I fixed with a YouTube video that happened to be the exact issue after going through like 20 freaking videos. Yeah. But funny. Yeah, I got those things. And then there was something else I got that I sent you a teaser about.
Oh yeah, the teaser.
Do you remember what I said or not? I don't remember what it was I said.
Something you said you bought something for $800.
Oh, that's even something different.
Oh, okay.
That'll be after.
Okay.
The other one was what I was thinking you might find humorous, if not frustrating.
Okay.
I got another 13-inch TV.
13-inch TV. So
TV VCR combo.
As soon as you said frustrating, I was just like, another TV. Another freaking TV. Jeez.
So, what the hell was the story of this again? I'm pretty sure it was free, and that's the only reason. Yes, it was free, and it was posted on Marketplace, I think. And I wasn't going to get it. And I thought, I'll let someone else have it. I've already got 2 now. I don't need a third one. And it was, what's the heck is the brand again? Sensui.
Sansui. Okay.
And Sensui's a good brand, isn't it? At least by stereo systems.
I don't know. That's not my brand.
I thought they were. I'm pretty sure that was the one that Joe had been looking for a stereo by. But anyway, so I let it sit there for like overnight. And I'm like, whatever. I don't need it. And then I showed my wife in the morning. She's like, we can go get that. It was down in Cambridge. And she's like, we'll make a shopping trip out of it. The kids will love it. We'll go to Value Village. It'll be fun. So I messaged the person. They messaged me back. Nobody else looks like they're going to pick it up. So I went down and picked it up for free.
Jeez. And what are you doing with this said television?
Well, my wife's like, well, maybe we could put it in Lauren's room because we put the other one in Sean's room. So now Lauren's going to be jealous. And I'm like, yeah, but he had to wait until he was 9 years old. She's only 6. She's like, we could hold on to it for 3 years. Or maybe she could get it sooner if she does something good or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see. At least it's a VCR and the kids aren't just getting full access to YouTube on their TVs.
That's true. You can control it more.
Yeah, you can control what they're watching. There's no broadcast TV to worry about, so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, let me tell you about my story about 13-inch TV VCR combo units.
So you take a drink right when you're starting to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. I got to lubricate so I have some. Yeah. So we lived. I don't know stop me if you've heard this one before. I'm becoming like my dad, where I've told the story so many times I don't know who I've told it to.
I don't remember you telling this story, but
okay. So when we lived overseas in Africa, we didn't have a TV in our house, right? The compound or the center that we lived on had a communal TV. So if you wanted to watch TV or watch a movie, you had to reserve it. You'd have to go into a logbook and say, Josh at 5 p.m. reserves it from 5 to 7.
That sounds familiar with you talking about having watched movies back then.
Anyways, so that's what we would do. Then eventually we came up with someone brought a 13-inch TV VCR combo, and then you could basically sign it out to bring it to your house, and you could watch it in your house. So the communal TV was in a spot where you'd have to go to this other area, this room, to watch it. You'd have to basically sign out the room. This was novel. You could bring it to your house and watch it in your house.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of VHS tapes, like a ton of them. We just didn't have any TV to watch them on.
Way to play them, yeah.
And eventually we did get our own TV VCR combo. But anyways, what I ended up doing is we would rent movies, or we would have our movies. We would go to the American Rec Center that was there, and they had a VHS rental space where you could go and you could rent movies. So we would do that, and usually we'd buy we get one movie for the kids, one movie for the parents. So on Friday nights, that was our movie night, was Friday night. We'd have pizza, we'd watch the kids, all the family would sit together, and we'd watch the movie that we'd picked out for us kids to watch. Then we would get ready for bed, we'd go to bed, and then the parents would stay up, and then they would watch their movie. So this happened for, years. This was part of our life. I don't think even to this day my parents know. What I would do is I would stay awake until my parents had finished watching their movie. Then they would go to bed. Then I would sneak out of the room. I would memorize exactly how the TV was sitting, where the tape was that they had, where that was.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Then I would take this TV into my bedroom, plug it in, put in it had a headphone jack, so I'd get the headphones. I'd have to know exactly where the headphones were and how the cord was wrapped. And I would go and I would watch whatever movie my parents had rented. And I would watch the movie. And I watched so many movies like this that I was not meant to see at age. Nothing that was really bad, but obviously it was I'm 13, 14, and I'm watching rated R movies. It's not as bad as it could have been. So, the first time I watched Cliffhanger was, again, on a 13-inch TV at 1 in the morning. So I was done at 3. Then I'd have to, sneak everything back out quietly. So I'd have to wait for the movie to end, my parents to, shut everything down, go to bed. I had to wait long enough for them to go to sleep, and then I could sneak out and watch the movie. And this is how long I was staying up trying to do that. It's such setup. Anyways, then again, watch the movie, get everything back out and back perfectly and not wake them up, get back and then get some sleep before I had to get up on Saturday and do my chores and whatever. I was only
Play with your
surviving on
monkey.
like 3 hours of sleep, essentially, that 3 to 4 hours. And I did this for ages.
So
and
not
then
as
eventually
terrible as when I used to go to my friend's house and watch his old school satellite dish TV and get blurry Playboy channel.
Oh yeah, everyone did that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do that.
You didn't.
So it's I think even to this day I don't think my parents actually knew that I did that.
You should tell them and see how they react.
I don't think they would care now. Maybe I'll tell my dad. My mom might care, but I don't think my dad
We
would.
told my parents a couple years ago that we used to take their Geo Tracker off-roading, and they suspected it because somebody dented the catalytic converter.
Oh yeah.
I think that was me on a 4-wheeler trail. But I only did it like twice. My brother did it like every weekend, so. And my other brother probably did it every other weekend, so.
Yeah, that's fair. The things we do to get away with stuff. Well, eventually we get our own like 13-inch TV. And so I would do this, multiple times a week, not necessarily because even if we didn't rent a movie, we had those blue totes, those blue Rubbermaids that I take
use for video games.
that I use.
Yeah.
Those were in Africa with us. We had one of those was kids tapes. The other one was all like adult tapes.
Adult, but not adult. Yeah.
Adult,
Yeah.
grown up tapes.
Yeah.
Rated PG-13 and above, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's funny.
And so I would,
Those Bens have seen some shit.
They've seen some shit, man. So I've, how many nights I would do this? I would have to, sneak it in, watch the movie, get it back out. Heaven forbid I fall asleep watching the movie, right? And then, you wake up and it's like, oh, it's starting to get light out. It's starting to get light out. Like it's 5 o'clock, 5:30.
Go sneak it back.
I got to go sneak this back out before my mom has to come out to go to the bathroom or something like that and notices that the TV is not there. I don't know if she would look for that, but anyways.
I wonder if they know already.
I don't know. I feel like my dad would have brought it up, but he's brought up other things that he knew that I did.
Yeah.
That never called me on, but he's never mentioned anything about this. So
my buddy Rob used to his dad would record his parents pirated satellite and had a cable box decoder thing.
Okay.
So he had a VCR and then he got a second VCR to dub tapes. So he would record pornography off the satellite and then make copies of those tapes and sell them at school.
Oh, lovely.
And the one time he put his dad's VCR back, that's what it was. He put his dad's VCR back, but forgot to take the original tape out. And his dad found that. And because his dad liked to screw with him, his dad took that tape and put it in the cupboard next to his cereal he had every morning. Didn't say a word about it, just put it there. He knew it was there, his dad knew it was there, and it just sat there for years as a reminder that his dad knows that he did this. But Rob also made thousands of dollars a year selling pornography to students in school.
The heyday.
He lived in Toronto. Where the heck is it? Starts with an S. What am I talking about? Scarborough. And there was him and there was another guy at his school named Rob that sold drugs. And the two of them would point kids to each other like, "Oh, are you the one with the drugs?" No, that's this Rob.
The other Rob.
yeah. I'm the one with the pornography. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
So, yeah, he made good money off that. And every time his parents would be like, "Where'd you get the money to buy a Nintendo?" He'd be like, "Oh, Grandma bought it for me." And he like a new computer, an SNES, a Sega CD, like everything.
Man, the enterprisingness of people. My gosh.
Yeah.
That, you know what? As much as I don't condone doing illegal things, I'm more interested in the ingenuity of people to come up, especially kids who don't really have any other option to make good money.
Yeah.
Like, they figured out a way to do it, and good for them. Reminds me of Josh Hartnett and what's that?
No idea.
What's that? The Faculty, in the movie The Faculty. He's selling porn VHS and drugs.
Okay. He's a double threat.
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen that movie. I know of
I love
it,
that
but I've
movie.
never
It's not a
seen
good
it.
movie, but I love it.
Okay. Oh, it's got Elijah Wood.
It's got a lot of people in it. Robert
I've
Patrick
never
is in
seen
it.
it.
Not Claire Danes. Was it?
I remember of it.
Jon Stewart's in it.
Clea Duvall.
Clea Duvall. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
who you're
Robert
looking for.
Duvall's daughter.
Salma Hayek. See, it's got Salma Hayek. I might have to watch it just for Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the nurse.
Yeah. Well, she's a nurse too. That's even better.
It's a fun
That
watch.
might be my one celebrity weakness is Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek. All right.
Yeah,
Good to know.
probably. Yeah. I forgot to mention those two VCR DVD combos that I got. Not the TV ones, but the DVD VCR ones. They're both DVD recorders, and they both have HDMI out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So they're worth some.
So did you fix the one that I gave you? Because that had the.
The one that you gave me, I've fixed as well. Yes.
Okay.
I actually, it has tracking issues now. I need to open it up and actually clean it out, like clean the head. So I
Okay.
haven't been using it for a while, but I do have 5 VCRs going all day, every day now, recording tapes. And I picked up
Jeez.
90 more tapes today. I also got some betas, so I need to find a beta player
Yeah, if you want a beta player. Yeah.
because I have one of the betas you gave me before,
Yeah.
and then I have like 8 more now.
We have
so-
more than one. I gave you like 6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah, that's what I
betas,
mean.
yeah.
I have the ones you gave me, plus I think 8 more now, so I probably have like 20 total.
Jeez.
And then, I'm almost through my tapes. Actually, that's another thing I have written down is that I sold 450 tapes that I've finished recording. This is my second batch of sale of tapes to this guy.
That was that guy in
from
Toronto.
Toronto,
right?
yeah. So he came down the first time and he got 200 or 250 from me, and this time he got 450 tapes off me for $300.
Nice.
Yeah, so I can't complain about that. He's excited. He loves it. He doesn't have a car, so him and his wife rented a car to come down here and get them. And then I mentioned to him something about, forget how we got talking about it, but he said when he's down here, they go thrifting in the area too.
Well, yeah, might as well make it worth it, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
I bought some VHS, but I'm only going to show you one.
I saw you pick up some VHSs and show it off on the collector's video.
Yes,
show.
I did show those ones. Yeah. If you want to see those, go to Collector's Show on STC Pod. I forget which one I'm on, but I'm probably in the
STC
thumbnail
Pod
somewhere.
on YouTube. And,
On YouTube, yes.
Yeah.
I bought some VHS. I bought some more.
You bought more after that. Oh,
Yeah,
so
I
you
bought
do
more.
have the bug.
A little bit, but not the home video stuff like you do.
No, you don't want like 900 tapes in your house?
No, I'm being very selective. This is
Me
the only
neither,
one.
but
I'm being very picky, very picky. This one is the only one I bought that I didn't buy because it was a movie that I knew or had an interest in watching. I literally saw it and I was like, "What is this? I've never heard of this, or actually, I've heard of it, but not this version of it."
Okay.
And I did a quick search and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I bought it for $2. You're
couldn't
gonna
find it on eBay.
I find one sealed copy on eBay for $100.
Okay.
So that means nothing for an open copy.
Yeah, no sold either.
No sold. No even regular listings. This is gonna be great audio or great video and great audio. GoldenEye,
Okay.
starring Charles Dance, not Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
It is Charles Dance playing Ian Fleming as, yeah, right?
Okay.
It's literally he's playing Ian Fleming.
1989. Oh, it's a TV movie. Originally. No,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
different.
Maybe it's different.
No, Charles Dance. He is Ian Fleming. Yeah.
Okay.
IMDb listed as a TV movie.
Maybe it is.
1 hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, mine says
Fact-based.
103 minutes on the back here.
Fact-based biography of James Bond author Ian Fleming. The film focuses on his wartime exploits and romantic adventures, which ultimately led to his creation of the Super Spy.
Yeah.
Okay. That cover looks way better than the IMDb cover. I can tell you
Does
that
it?
much.
Okay.
It's him dressed as like in a naval suit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Anyways,
Just in front
on the
of
back.
palm
So this is
trees.
a cover from 2000. We're becoming. This is if this interests you. This is basically what the collector cast is, or the collector show. Collectors. This is released in 2000, I believe. So the date is on the back. Anyways, because it's leading into the whole James Bond. It's like his name was Fleming, Ian Fleming. Anyways, there's the back.
That is available on YouTube to watch.
It
and
is.
They call it GoldenEye, aka The Secret Life of Ian Fleming.
I'm also thinking of ripping this and putting it on my YouTube.
Your
See if I can-
secondary YouTube.
My secondary YouTube.
I really should create one of those.
Just to see if it'll stick. I've had some
I don't
things
know. I don't have time.
some things stick and some things get pulled, but
I literally have like 700 VHS tapes to go through, maybe 800 VHS tape recordings to go through.
but now that you've got 5 VCRs going, you should have these done in no time.
No, I have them recorded.
Oh, recorded.
Now I have to do something with the recorded files.
Ah, gotcha.
So I have 200 videos on YouTube that need tags and like titles
Yeah.
and scheduled. And then I have another like 800 videos to go through and pick commercials out of.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun for the rest of my life.
So your VHS and video problem is like me and my video game problem, where you have all this stuff that you plan to do. This is how I have games I plan to sell, and they just sit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing.
I had that problem. Just recently, I resolved that problem.
Did you now?
I did resolve that problem very recently. Would you like to know how I resolved that problem?
Yes, please. Please
Should I
elaborate.
talk about that now?
Please elaborate.
So I sold my entire video game inventory to Josh.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
At half of retail price, but
yes,
so there's money on the bone for you there.
there is.
And the reason I did that was to clear out my basement. But the
more
problem
VHS
with that is Josh has not cleared out my basement yet. It's all still in my house.
This is the problem with selling to me, is I'll just let it sit there until it's ready to go. Till I'm ready to take it.
Yeah. My wife's less thrilled about that part of it, but it's at least sold, and therefore it will go, as opposed to me never posting it and it
Yeah.
never getting sold. Or one thing at a time here and there. Yeah.
Yeah. I do really need to get my butt in gear and start listing things I have sold some things. which
I
has
see
been nice.
floor space right behind you. It could just go right there.
The
and
problem
it'll
is
be
this has to be usable floor space. Trust me, it did not look like this before tonight.
camera turned on, yeah.
I cleaned up because I'm like, this cannot look like this. This is like a bomb went off. This always is a disaster here, but not not there. So, oh my gosh. Do you remember that PS2 bundle that I traded for at the show at
I
the
do.
Game Expo?
I definitely do.
That was a good trade.
It was a good trade?
It was a good trade. I'm mostly doing this to defend myself against Bill because he did not appreciate me taking the trade. But there is easily $250 worth of stuff in that.
I have no doubt.
Bundle.
It's just some of it is slow moving, especially the hardware.
Depending on the hardware. So the one guitar is very sought after.
Okay.
And so if I list that alone, but I'm going to actually, not going to say alone, but I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of my PS2 Guitar Hero games
Yeah.
with that guitar and list it all as a bundle with all the games. That's going for, almost $200
Okay.
just for that.
And you still have the other guitar.
I saw
And
the other
the-
guitar
and the
the
console.
PS2
Yeah.
and 2 controllers. And the one controller, by the way, when I was testing it, I looked at it. It's never been used. It's still got the factory twist tie on it.
Oh. How can you tell the difference?
Dude, it's so neat and clean, and it's just like perfectly laid down and nice.
Interesting.
The nubs on it are very new feeling. I don't know how to describe that, but the joysticks, feel great. The buttons look like they've never been really pushed. It was in that plastic bag.
It's hard to find PS2 controllers these days that don't have an issue.
Yeah. So this thing is like mint. So So again,
And
adding on that stuff. And the PS2 that I have is the last edition one.
That's what I find the coolest thing.
So it's got digital buttons, not analog ones like the other ones. Not like analog.
Like touch sensitive buttons?
They're not quite touch sensitive, but they almost feel like they are. They're not like the regular PS2 Slim buttons where you feel a click.
Yeah.
They're almost touch sensitive. Almost.
Okay.
Like
but better than that, in my opinion, is that the power supply is not external.
It's an internal power supply.
It doesn't have a power brick like you're used to.
Yeah.
That's freaking cool. I don't think I've ever seen a PS2 like that, or I've never noticed.
Yeah.
PS2 Slim. Yeah.
And I've tested it, and it works flawlessly, and it's clean. So yeah, it's
that's pretty good.
They got some money there. So I just got to sell it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for. So I keep checking on Facebook, and I have a quick look for PS2 just to see what's out there, because I don't want to list mine, and then but then one's up there for like $20, and I'm like, obviously that one's gonna go.
Yep.
So I'm waiting for just there to be a little bit of a lull, and then I'll post mine, and then we'll see what happens. So.
Yep. Like I said, I have four VCRs in front of me recording, like they're right behind me, but they're on the monitors ahead of me on top. And this one over here's got a news program from like 1987 maybe, and it just showed like fire trucks downtown Kitchener. From then, that's pretty freaking cool.
See, I know this is a lot more work. This sounds like a 24-hour stream, like a YouTube stream.
So
just having them running. And just switching them between...
But it would be easy to do that. I've done. The problem I have with that right now is some of these tapes definitely have nudity. Definitely some of them have some quite explicit things on them. Not pornography, but like just below pornography. Like showcase on a Friday night at 2 a.m. or something like that.
Okay,
like,
gotcha, yeah.
I mean, Showcase, I think, is a Canadian channel. People don't know it, but it's... Or there's even one that's Cinemax, which I hear people call Skinemax, because it's always showing skin. So there's some of that on one of these tapes as well. So I'd have to, like, at least remove the stuff that's obvious nudity. Yeah. But there is several YouTube channels that do things like that already, and Twitch streams. So the guy that I'm selling the tapes to in Toronto has one where he just does... he takes a whole tape, and he edits out all the show and only puts the commercials up. And he'll call it a commercial compilation. And that's his video. And then he also does Twitch streams now, where him and another guy are talking over a tape as it's playing. I don't know for sure what the content was there. I didn't really pay close enough attention. And then there's also a guy called Forgotten VHS. And he makes compilation videos where it's just like music along with interesting scenes from movies and shows. And it's like way out there, but really hilarious. And then he'll do Twitch streams where he'll just throw in a weird tape. Like 3 weeks ago, my wife and I started watching it after we were done watching some Catfish, a TV show. I put on this show on our Chromecast, or his stream on our Chromecast. And it was like literally this religious show or movie from the 1980s where they were using puppets and stuff. Like it looked like Mr. Dress Up, but fully religious.
Yeah.
And it was just badly produced and pretty funny.
I probably grew up watching that stuff.
Probably. So it was pretty hilarious. And then they talk over it, and they just talk about, how bad the characters are, how bad the acting is, and what's going on here. And, and then they also did some Power Rangers episodes a few weeks ago as well on that. That was Forgotten VHS on Twitch. Well, there's one of my tapes finishing recording. It's rewinding.
I was like, is there an airplane going off?
Can you hear it? Yeah. Yeah, that's the first VCR. So I have the VCRs stacked in like 4 of them stacked height-wise. And the first one is on the first OBS, the second one's on the second, third, fourth. Helps me keep track of which one's at what stage or which one I'm putting in which spot, because I start the recording, but when I start the recording, I take notes of what the tape is. So if I ever need to go back to it, or if I want to just name it, right?
Yeah.
I have I'll grab one from this box beside me of finished ones, and it's a Maxwell high grade bread, because they make red and blue cases, and then this one's numbered. And this being numbered, I can tell that this is from the guy that died in Cambridge. So that helps me remember what tape it is, especially because I had moved the VCRs when I was when I got the Samsung one in there, the Samsung, which is the first DVD recorder one. I rearranged them, but when I did that, apparently I unplugged the audio on my second VCR, so I had 4 recordings with no audio.
Okay.
So I had to go back, find the tapes, which is
yeah.
easy because I had the names and I knew which VCR they were recorded on, which capture card, and went back and found all those and then re-record all those ones in the next batch of recordings. So it wasn't terrible, but these ones that are in now have been going for just over 4 hours. So
Wow.
6 or 5 o'clock at night, something like that. I got home from work at 6, so no, it must have been 6. Yeah, 4 hours. It's 10:40,
Yeah,
and
10:43. We're good.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's now something I've learned how to do as efficient as possible, I guess.
You've assembly lined it.
I literally have assembly lined it, and I realized, or I found a bug in OBS. I don't know if I mentioned that on here before. I've told people at work, but like every 6th recording or so, OBS will start recording and then immediately stop on its own. It still creates the file, and the timer app or part of OBS still shows it recording, but the file is stopped and it's only like 700 kilobytes. So I need to like notice that happened because one button's recording and one's not, and then just stop the tape, start rewind back, and close OBS, reopen it, and yeah. Jeez. So I gotta report that issue to OBS because it's an open source project.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I already tried their forums and no one was helpful. It was just like, I don't know. So I narrowed it down to being very easy to reproduce. If you just start and stop recording like 6 times, it'll happen. Between 6 and 8 or something like that, or 4 and 8.
Random.
Yeah, it's pretty random, but it's at least reproducible enough. And no matter what your recording settings are, I have it happen on 3 different computers, so I know it's not the computer. Yeah. I stopped recording on my main gaming computer because there's some weird issue with OBS or maybe the graphics card or maybe even the capture card with it, but the capture card works on the other computer, so I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure this is real thrilling information, but
it's just a lot of information.
Well, I have 2 USB capture cards and then the 2 Elgato HD 60 Pros in that computer, and those are what's going on that computer with 4 captures. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Have you been playing any games on that gaming computer that you're not recording VHSing on?
Not a lot. I played a little bit of Just Cause 4 again. That's pretty much what I go back to. I want to try and finish that game some point. It says I have 37 hours in the game.
That doesn't seem like enough.
There's a lot of side quests in that game. I started playing the game with cheat codes, but it just wasn't worth it. The game is already...
It's already cheat code the game.
Yeah, it's already pretty easy. Like, your health regenerates automatically if you get away from the fight and stop getting shot at. If you do die in a fight, all it does is just send you away from the fight, but close enough you can get back to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, essentially your wanted level goes back down or whatever. The bad guys don't know you're there again until you attack. I also played some Halo Infinite again with some friends because they were bugging and be like, who's going to play some games? So we haven't played some Halo Infinite, and we did awesome for like 8 matches in a row. And then the guys were like, I'm done. So we all ended playing that.
We're too good at this.
We had 1 bad match, and then we had another good match to finish it off. They're like, I'm leaving on a high note. Yeah, but it was fun. We kicked some butt. I don't know what happened, but it was good.
You got on a roll,
There was some new maps released for the game too, so that changes it up, makes it more interesting for you.
Yeah. Cool.
And the Fiesta mode is the fun one that we've been playing on that, where it's you get random guns at the beginning of the game. So you get 2 guns and a special ability, and those are randomized each time.
Nice.
So it makes it interesting. Every time you die, it changes your
it.
loadout. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sometimes you get angry that it's like, it's 2 pistols. But pistols can be good too sometimes. So
pistols can be fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I played a game. I know, hard to believe. Right. I played a game called Alienation. Ever heard of it?
I think I have.
It's by the same people who did Super Stardust and Resogun, and I think they just did, what's that new one on PS5?
I couldn't tell you, but same developer.
Same developer.
Housemark.
Housemark, that's the one.
And then their latest game I'm trying to find, and it doesn't look like I have any idea.
It
what
won
is.
Game of the Year for like...
From 2021? Returnal,
that's the one. Yep.
Yeah, I'm finding all the answers here on the,
Thank you.
Googles.
Thanks, you got the Googles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a game that kind of like flew under the radar. Like you always hear about the other games that they make, but this one no one really talks about. So this is one I imported back in the day. It's like a Chinese. The only way to get it physical was a Chinese English import.
Okay.
So back in my I'm gonna buy everything that I can days, this is one of the ones I imported. I could have bought it digitally, but I'm like, you know what? I already bought it physically. I'm just gonna open it and play it.
Where'd you import through?
I think
PlayAsia was one of those.
I think it was PlayAsia, or it could have been. It could have shown up through Amazon too. But I think actually, if it's Asia English, it was probably PlayAsia.
Okay.
Because that's not really something that comes through Amazon.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get the odd person who does their own, like, oh, I have an extra copy, or I have a bunch of copies, I'll sell it on Amazon. But
yeah,
it's not very often.
It was either PlayAsia or maybe it was eBay if I found one on eBay, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing you were going to say. It was one of those.
Anyways.
So this looks fun, this Alienation.
It's very Helldivers.
Oh, okay.
Which
it looks more arcadey.
It is.
Maybe that's just the scenes that they're showing in this trailer.
It is. It's it's the same kind of thing of like, you know, twin stick shooter. You walk with one, you point with the other, you shoot. Mm-hmm. There's no friendly fire like Helldivers, thankfully. So you're not killing each other constantly, which is part of the fun of Helldivers, but also can be the biggest frustration with it.
Yeah.
This is a lot more hectic than Helldivers. There's a lot more enemies coming at you, and it's a good thing you can't kill your friends because you'd just be dying all the time. It's not a hard game. Like if you all wipe, you don't get set back that far. You basically find respawn spawns around. You just have to activate them. And then when you die, you just go back there. There's no lives. There's not really a game over, which is nice. Yeah, it's very good. If you shoot, instead of killing your friends, if you shoot at them, your bullets just stop. They don't go through your friends.
Oh, okay.
So you have to, again, watch where you're shooting. So if you're just shooting your friend, you're not helping anybody, right? You're just wasting your bullets. So, and it's a full like tiered upgrade system. So you find weapons, you have to resource manage to get more weapons. If you don't, weapons that you don't like, you can tear them down into basic resources and then use those resources to upgrade other things.
4-player co-op, I don't think you said yet.
4-player co-op. There's only 3 classes, so we're only playing 3 players right now. But you could do 4 technically, but you just have to double up on a class. But yeah, it's good. We got about halfway through the game in one night, so I'm hoping.
I heard but I didn't get an invite, so I don't know.
That's true. That's true. We didn't make the cut at this time. I'm sorry.
It hurts.
Truth hurts. But yeah, it's good. It's a slow tier. It's good. I'm hoping to finish it up. But we'll see how it goes.
Looks fun. I'd love to play it someday.
It'll go on sale on Steam, I'm sure. Actually,
it's actually published by PC or by Sony, though, right?
Is it? I was gonna say, is it even on Steam?
Publisher is Sony.
It may not be.
No,
it may be.
I don't see it on Steam.
It may be a PS4 exclusive.
It is apparently. Yep, only PS4.
Hey, look at that. That's why people don't talk about it.
Yeah, because Sony's keeping it hostage.
Well, Housemarque's moved on to the things.
Returnal's on it on Steam. So.
Returnal took the world by storm, and no one cares about anything else they've made.
I don't know anything about it.
They'll never make another Super Stardust, which was amazing.
I don't know anything about Returnal except the name. I've heard a million times.
Yeah. So that's about the only game I've played.
Sounds about right.
Yep. I gotta play more.
Too.
Say that every month. I say that, but it doesn't actually change.
So I bought the other thing.
Ooh, yes, the other thing. Okay.
So I bought and have not yet used an
purchase.
underwater drone.
An underwater drone. Interesting.
Yes. I've been looking at these for many, many, many years. I've been thinking of building one for many, 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 many years. But they seem to be, you know, like most technology, coming down in price as it gets out there, and there's more and more of them and stuff. So the one I bought is called Chasing Dory. Chasing is the brand. Dory is the model. It's their smallest model. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but like the size is like the size of my head-ish.
Okay. Yeah.
But like smaller, but longer. And it's tethered, so it has a cord that comes out from the back of it. And that cord goes up to the surface where there's a floating Wi-Fi.
I was going to say, they got to do something to get through the water, because water does not transmit signal very well.
Yeah, Wi-Fi, or signal, wireless signals don't go through water. So it has this 40-foot cable that floats, like it's neutral buoyancy. So anyway, and on the top, it has this buoy type floaty thing that your phone connects to over Wi-Fi. And then there's an optional Bluetooth controller with sticks on it that you can use to hold the phone. So I bought the extra controller as well. And I was watching the price for it. It's been coming down like over the last 2 years or so. I think I started watching the price for this model. I really wanted to get one with a claw on it so you can grab things in the water.
Yeah.
But it just, the price difference is not worth it. It goes from, like, this one was $550 plus tax and plus their controller. And the next tier up, the next model they sell, which is still the cheapest one with a claw, is like $1,600, $1,800 with the claw. So it's a big price jump.
You could probably build one on that thing to do it.
I could, well, it'd be hard to do the remote control part. You'd have to run your own wire alongside the wire, probably.
Yeah.
But somebody has created one that goes on this model, but they didn't share any plans or anything like that. As far as I can
3D
tell.
print one now?
I could, but again, how are you going to control it? You got to make sure it's waterproof, all that crap. And then you also need to make sure it's neutrally buoyant, so it doesn't affect the flotation of the vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm used to saying aircraft from work. So I'll just do without a claw. I don't care, whatever. The one thing I want to do with it very badly is a coworker of mine several years ago, before I started on the team, crashed a drone in a body of water near our office. It has a nickname, which I don't know if I should say, because it's partly related to the product we sell, and I don't want to out myself and my company. But either way, it's an aircraft that's in the water and has been there for 5 years, I think. And it's probably murky water, and you probably won't be able to see anything. The day after it happened, a guy from the sales team like jumped in the water and started trying to find it, and didn't find it. So it's probably not even gonna be findable. But I just think it'd be hilarious if I could find it and then somehow get it out of the water and bring it up, and like, I'd love to put it in epoxy as a trophy. But
I was gonna say, just get it one of these helmet display cases and put it in that.
Yeah, well, it'll be really disgusting smelling, I bet. But I would definitely clean it. I don't know if the battery's a fire risk or not, but you could probably gut the battery and still. At
this point, it's not a risk, I would imagine.
I don't know. It's been in water, 5 years. I would hope not.
Yeah.
But either way, it'd be hilarious to get that out of the water, just to rub it in my friend's face, in my coworker's face, / put it as a trophy.
Here you go.
So that's one of the reasons I got it. I've also just always wanted one of these things. I was going to build my own underwater drone, or ROV as they're called. But it's just the work to do it is not something I have time for. Like I even grabbed some extra Raspberry Pis. I don't know if I mentioned that last week or not, or last episode or not, but I grabbed 5 Raspberry Pi 2s recently that I got from a guy in Guelph, and I was like, I could use the Pis, one in the floaty device, one in the actual aircraft or the underwater drone, and then one on the land for controlling. And I thought about it. I was going to do it. I just decided to buy this one because the price was low enough.
Yeah.
And I stumbled across some extra money recently.
Yeah, you just happen to come across some money. Yeah.
My video game budget was already doing good, and then this extra money that I stumbled across helped as well.
It just helped motivate you that much more.
It did
of
help
course.
motivate me that little extra.
Let's see, it all work. It all comes together.
Yeah.
So where else are you planning on using it? Like how usable is the camera in murky water?
So it's a 1080p camera. Like, just imagine you put a 1080p camera. It has 2 lights on the side as well, so that'll help under the water. But the ideal place to use it would be very still water, or maybe moving water. Like if we go on a canoe trip, kayak trip, dinghy trip, that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
It says it has an hour battery life.
Okay.
Which would be pretty awesome to do.
Yeah.
I also have an RC boat that I'd love to take on that trip if we did do that trip.
Well, we could make it happen. And just so you know, I happen to have found a second trolling motor. So if you did want to get a boat of yourself,
oh, that's interesting.
you'd have to. It's
You
an older
found a
one.
trolling motor.
I found it's an older one, but it works.
How big is this thing? Maybe you need to send me specs of this thing so I can figure out what size boat to buy.
It's meant for a fishing boat. So if you get an inflatable boat, it'll put it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how small, because
Yeah.
I've seen some dinghies and I'm like, I should just buy that.
I saw one the other day and I was like, I should send that to Derek. He'll buy that.
What do you do with your inflatable? You deflate it when you're not using it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have a bad history with inflatable air mattresses.
Air mattresses are shit. Every single one of them
Right?
is shit. Yes,
They all
they're
leak.
Garbage. Yeah.
You buy it, and 2 days later, or even the first time you use it, it's leaking.
Yep.
And they put a little thing in the package that says, it's not leaking, it's just stretching. And I watched a couple YouTube videos about it. Yeah, they are going to stretch, that's fine. But not when it goes so flat you're touching the ground, on the first use. Or you reinflate it, and you're still, like, sagging in an hour.
I've noticed a lot of my air mattresses, some of them have sprung leaks. But a lot of it has to do with storage. Like if you're storing it in the garage, they're gonna leak for sure.
Why?
You have to. It's the cold,
Really?
in winter, and then the changing temperatures. Anything inflatable, except for my boat, thankfully, anything inflatable I left out in the garage has sprung leaks.
Weird.
So I've brought all of my air mattresses inside. They're in the basement under the stairs where they're.
Sucks. Okay.
So. So when I go camping, I don't sleep on the ground anymore. I have that cot, that queen size cot with an inflatable mattress.
Yeah.
So we'll see this year if it's lasted the year. Last year was our first time using it, but it lasted the whole trip, which is unprecedented.
Nice, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have a hate relationship with air mattresses these days. I used to love them. Now I hate them.
I know I hate them as well. I'm looking at cots now for my kids, so I don't have to bring air mattresses anymore.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yes, boats. The inflatable boats are fine if you get obviously a decent one.
Yeah, I
They're
need to do that. I want to do that. We could just use yours, but having more than one would mean
Mine's a good.
more
Mine's a good
things.
test. I have 2 technically. So, and 2 kayaks.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So there's lots of.
We should just do that. We
Yeah.
should just do that. I have lots of Pelican cases that we can store things in on the boat.
Oh, perfect.
I should probably just give you some Pelican cases if you don't already have.
I don't have. You could put some video games in Pelican cases.
That would be pretty funny.
And then
Well, it
that's
depends.
how.
Do you want foam in the Pelican case, or do you want no foam in the Pelican case?
Well, fit what you can with foam, probably. I don't know. Thin foam. I don't know.
The foam that comes in it has our aircraft cut out in it.
That's true.
So what I've been doing is take that out, and then I have a wire foam cutter
Okay.
that I cut so there's just like a thin layer around all the edges,
Yeah.
and then I reassemble because you can't easily cut it without cutting those sides right off.
Yeah.
So it comes into like a piece for each side, and then the flat bottom, basically,
Okay.
is what I end up doing. I've done that with like 4 cases now. In fact, my underwater drone's in one of these Pelican cases.
Perfect. See, that's the perfect place for it.
Yeah, it is.
It's a perfect
It really
application.
is. Yep.
So,
I have some camping stuff in 2 of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I should tell you my new idea. Maybe I'll tell you off air so we don't take up too much time right now. But I have a new project I want to work on. Now I just need time.
I always have bad ideas for projects I want to work on.
Exactly. This one won't go away though. So
Okay.
normally if you leave it for a couple days, this is how I know it's a good idea. If I think of it and then within 2 or 3 days I'm just like, yeah, it won't work. You know, like you kind of you've let it simmer long enough where you can see the holes in it, and you've tried to think of ways to get around and you can't. Anyways,
I never get to that point. I'm always just like, this will take so much time.
Okay, fair enough. We have different thought processes.
Yeah.
Mine is literally, okay, here's my idea, and then if it stays with me for like 2-3 days, and basically I'm trying to convince myself that it's not a good idea.
Then you should not talk to me.
And at the end of those 3 days, 2 or 3 days, I'm still like, no, this is a good idea. I'm like, all right, then I know it's good.
I'll just problem solve how to make it work. That's my problem, is I'm always trying to problem solve how it can work. I don't really consider how much time it's going to take until I start it.
Yes. Where that's part of my discouraging. I'm like, that's first thing, how much time is this going to take? That's usually the first thing. I'm like, is it going to take more than like a weekend? Then
yeah.
So, but this is all fitting in nicely. I have the materials. I have the thing. I have most of what I need to get it done. I'd have to spend some money, but not too much.
So you're going to start recording VHS tapes and putting them on YouTube?
No, but I'll sell them your VHS tapes for you and take the money.
I do have some VHS tapes I need to get rid of. Some retail VHS tapes I need to get rid of.
Oh, retail. I don't know about those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put those at the swap.
I could.
Buck a piece.
Yeah, I could. They're not doing me any good sitting in a cardboard box, and I don't want them because they don't have commercials.
Yeah. Buck a piece.
I bet you they have some good trailers at the beginning.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Wow, trailers. Remember we used to have trailers before movies? This is ridiculous. That's something you never thought that would go away. And something I never even thought about until recently.
About there aren't trailers in movies now?
When you click on a movie now, when you watch a movie,
online, yeah.
Even when you put a DVD or a Blu-ray in,
they don't have them on Blu-ray and DVDs anymore. I don't fucking.
Mine goes right to the menu, and I just click play movie and go.
Oh, I see. I'm used to the kids' DVDs we have that are kind of old now. Yeah. And you pop them in, they have trailers after trailers after trailers after trailers.
Yeah, but that's again, those are probably just tie-overs from the VHS copies, maybe.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Depends on how old the DVDs are, I guess. But
yeah, these are old.
Man, crazy.
But yeah.
Oh, I did make progress on my digitizing my physical library.
Yeah.
I bought. Let me just pull it right here. I bought the R4.
Oh, an R4
for my DS. And it works great.
As I said, I have one of those spare in my to sell bin. Did I include that in the stuff for you? I don't think I did. I think I kept it.
That's fine.
I need to go through those bins and pull out the stuff that I was not selling you. Like, I kept all the original Xbox controllers because I'm like, I can use those for modifying Xbox.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I got to pull out stuff like that and stuff that you don't want. But some of the stuff you didn't want to pay for, I'm just going to leave in there for you anyway.
Lovely.
You'll use it or bundle in with something at some point.
Put it in my dollar bin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, the R4 works nice. I managed to find firmware on a YouTube video explaining how to do it, because that's the only way you could do it. Put ROMs on and it works fine. No need to hack anything, and it just plays.
Yeah, I love the DS Lite for that.
This works in my 3DS. I can put it in my 3DS and play it. I tested on the DSi XL, then the DS, and I was like, I'll try it on my 3DS and see if it works, and it does. So
that's surprising. Is your 3DS updated or not really?
Yeah, it's the new Nintendo 3DS.
Huh.
The Super Nintendo one.
Yeah, okay.
So
I really need to try something like that on my 3DS, because I've tried R4 cards on 3DS and they never seem to work, but I don't know. You can send me this YouTube video maybe.
Well, now you can just mod your 3DS normally and just put games right on the SD card.
I did that with one of them and it didn't work because my son installed an update.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Probably a couple times.
The R4 is nice just to have it there, and you can move it between systems. And I even tried multiplayer. I tried Mario Kart between the R4 and a real Mario Kart cart.
Yes.
And it works.
Yes, I've tried it between two R4s, and I think the game has the same ID because the ROM's the same, and that did not work.
Okay.
I forget what it did. I think they just didn't see each other or something.
Huh.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's been working great. We're still working on hacking other things, but we're getting there slowly.
Yeah, I need to do, like I said, NES Classic, SNES Classic, PlayStation Classic, all those things.
Yeah. Let's bring them over here. We'll just get them done in like 5 minutes.
Maybe Wii U at some point, considering
Wii U is a bit. Wii U is going to be one that I got to spend some time to figure out how to do it. And apparently it's easy.
I've heard that.
I think Kevin, Canadian Grooves, said it was easy to do. The problem is it's easy to do for some things, but I wanted to be able to do other things as well. And I wanted to look nice.
Mars for me.
I know. I had to physically stop myself from saying Birdy. I want also to look nice because a lot of the mods I'm seeing, they're just like, here, we're gonna play these games, and it's just like a file list of games. I'm like, well, that doesn't look really that nice. It'd be nice to see like, front covers, artwork and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. So I gotta figure out how to do all that stuff.
That would be nice.
So
might not be worth the work, but it would be nice.
Exactly. So
I keep getting distracted by these tapes that are playing because they're just weird. Just weird.
Speaking of watching, what have you been watching?
I watched 1989's Do the Right Thing.
Okay.
Spike Lee joint.
Spike Lee joint.
That was an interesting movie. I feel like, having never grown up in the hood, I am missing a lot about the movie, right? Like,
probably, yeah.
Things that I don't even get why this is a thing, but overall, I'm like, is this movie trying to tell you to do the right thing? Or is it like based on the main character? You've seen it, right? You know it?
I haven't seen it, no.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay. No. Based on the main character, I'm kind of like, he doesn't really do the right thing, so I don't know what the point of the movie is. It's an interesting movie. You should watch it and we'll talk about it sometime. But
okay.
Yeah, it's also like, I don't know, everyone talks about it all the time, right? Like, it. It's just a cult classic or a classic or a...
It's one that I've heard people talk about, but I haven't seen it. I haven't got to that point.
That's kind of the reason I felt like I should watch it. Besides, the cast is like a ton of people you will recognize. Like, there's Samuel L. Jackson is like the radio guy, and there's Danny Aiello. I don't know if I can say his name. Some Italian guy, You'll recognize him.
I'll recognize him.
Oh, and Spike Lee's actually in it. I didn't realize that he was one of the guys.
He does like showing up in his movies too sometimes.
I didn't realize that. There's just tons of guys that you will recognize. Bill Nunn, I recognized him. I don't know. I don't know those people's by name, but I recognize them from a ton of things. And they're like so young in this. Like Rosie Perez from White Men Can't Jump. She was in this and very topless. And I wonder if that's why people liked her in White Men Can't Jump. Someone was recently talking about White Men Can't Jump and like, oh, why do people like this movie? I can't remember what podcast that was on. And I remember liking that movie when I was a kid, but I can't remember.
Wasn't that Polykill?
Maybe it was. Yes, maybe it was. That would make sense. And I'm assuming that it was like she was popular from this movie because I'm thinking it came out first. I'm not positive. But I should check actually because she looks younger in this than I remember her being in White Men Can't Jump. White Men Can't Jump, 1992. Yeah, 92. So 5 years later. That makes sense. But I also probably was too young to have watched White Men Can't Jump when I saw it. So that might be another reason why I liked it. Yeah. Because like it was like, oh, I shouldn't really be watching this. There's so much swearing, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my cousins had recorded it off satellite and we watched it from that. Because they had this huge collection of movies recorded off satellite. I really wish I had their VHS collection before they got rid of it. That's the one whose house I ran on the treadmill and watched Leprechaun movies and Friday the 13th and stuff one time. Yeah. I also watched a show that I didn't realize existed. I don't remember where I heard about it or saw it. I think it was actually, yes, it was one of my VHS tapes. There was a commercial for this show. I was like, this looks funny. Angie Tribeca.
I've
It
heard
has
the name.
Rashida Jones
Yes.
from
The Office.
The Office in it. And was she on Parks and Rec?
She was on Parks and
Parks and
Rec.
Rec. And Jerry Burns and Hayes MacArthur, which you'd recognize him to see him, but his name's pretty generic sounding. He's from Things, and I cannot remember what he's in. My wife said the same thing. He was in Super Troopers 2. She's out of my league. I don't know. He's a guy you'll recognize. Hayes MacArthur. Yes. You know actors. Anyway,
Sure.
the show, it's a TV show. Angie Tribeca is so random. So she's a cop. He's her partner. She doesn't want to have a partner. Her last partner was her fiance, and he died. But the show is like a really random comedy where you just can't predict what's going to happen, but it's fun. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously at all in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
And it makes fun of cop show tropes and just stupid humor, but funny.
Okay.
And not a little bit perverted once in a while, but not like funny because it's perverted. You know what I mean? Like, not.
Oh, that's fine.
That's not what
Yeah,
they. It's not a crutch they depend on, but
Yeah.
they pull that string once in a while. But just the randomness. It's on my Plex. You should go check out at least one episode.
Okay.
Angie Tribeca. I really enjoy it.
Is it funnier than Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I didn't really enjoy Brooklyn and Nine-Nine.
Okay, I didn't either. So I was just like, when I hear comedy cop show, I'm just like,
No,
Brooklyn
like-
Nine-Nine.
Like, it's almost slapstick. It's so funny. Like, so
Okay.
random funny.
Okay.
Like, Mr. Bean kind of funny in times. Just
All right, that sounds probably more
just
my-
weird stuff. My wife started watching with me when I was down here. I forget what I was doing, either 3D printing or sorting tapes or something like that. And she was down here, and she's just like, actually started laughing at it. And she does not appreciate humor that I like very often.
Yeah.
But like, it felt like Weird Al making a TV show almost, like that kind
Okay.
of random funny. I can't believe it wasn't more popular, or I just didn't know about it. But it has several seasons. I forget how many now. So of course I'm going to Google that and get the answer. It's 2 seasons. Is that what all it is? Come on, don't fail me now. Oh, it says 4 seasons here, but it only goes from 2016 to 2018. How can that be 4
They could have
seasons?
done 2. They could have done 2 seasons a year.
Maybe. Of course, when you click on the year on IMDb, it does not show you the right information. But when I go to browse episodes and seasons, it says 4. Yeah, 4 seasons.
There's a lost season.
Yeah. I'm trying to see 10 episodes a season. So,
Okay, so not a long season then.
yeah, I think the shows are only half hour too.
Okay, perfect.
I also started watching Monk from the beginning.
Okay.
I've always liked that show, but never watched enough of it because my family members didn't enjoy it when it was on TV. And Q Dogs have talked about they were watching.
They've been
Monk.
talking about it. Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I really need to get back to that show, and I've been enjoying it. It's on my Plex as well, but of course, all the episode names are like shifted by one,
Yeah, because
all the names and
because of
numbers.
the pilot is 00 probably or whatever.
probably, or like the broadcast is different from the DVD, which they do a lot too. So
Yeah.
I gotta fix that at some point if you go watch that. But I've been enjoying Monk, and I really don't know which one to go back to, Monk or this. But the Angel Trade Record definitely makes me laugh more. Monk is more like fun and thought provoking. So
Yeah, I was just say I remember that one being a bit more intellectual.
yeah. You got anything you watched?
Well, the day that I was sick on that Friday when I stayed
Watched
home,
all the things
I watched all of one thing, that's for sure.
before you fell asleep.
Well, so I started the new season to Drive to Survive, which I know you have no interest in, but
I'd check it out if I had time, but I have not yet done that.
anyways, the new season, which covers the F1 race from last season, the last race season. So it covers that. I'd watched that on, I think, Wednesday night. And then Thursday night, I watched one more. And then Friday, I wasn't going to work, so I just stayed down here. And I just watched the rest of the season. So there's it's 10 episodes, and they're about I would say 40 minutes to an hour for each episode. So it's good. It's a very, I'll say it again every time, it's a very interesting look at a sport that I don't watch at all. I know the characters I know who the race drivers are. I know who the team managers are, the owners, and there's a lot of politics in between. It's a reality show in a way because they're going at each other about who's going to win and how they're winning, and are they cheating? Are they following the rules? How are they following the rules, but they're still better than us? Things like that. Contract negotiations between teams and drivers, and teams stealing drivers from other teams. So it's all very interesting. And then the racing is good. If you like good cinematography, like if you've watched Top Gear or Grand Tour and ever thought, just the way that they shot that looks really good.
Yeah.
Same deal in this show. Like, it just looks really good, the way they shoot them. And some of the crashes they have are spectacular, especially when they do them like slow-mo and you get to see exactly how the car's twisting, and it's good. The one thing I didn't know so I listened to one car podcast, and they talk about this show and how this was one of F1's ways to become relevant again, because F1 is a very closed sport, or it has been for generations, decades. They didn't want a lot of media attention. They would control the drivers and what they could say to the media and things like that, and they just didn't want outside control to what's going on. They didn't want outside observers or critics, essentially. But then, obviously, after years of doing that, their fan base continues to drop year after year after year because those people are dying out. And so they're trying to do ways of, or trying to find ways to promote interest in the sport. And they tried things with, like, obviously sponsors, allowing different kinds of sponsors, and then making big spectacles about, the drivers, spewing champagne on everybody, like making it a big party at the end. They make it a big media frenzy, that kind of thing. So it's just part of it. But again, no one really knew how F1 worked. And so someone came to them from, I guess Netflix had the idea, or maybe F1 had the idea.
Okay.
And they finally got in, and that's when this show started. And it's only been on for 5 seasons, and it is really good. You could jump in at any point. I would recommend going back and starting at season 1, just so you get an idea of where all the players are, because they continually shift through every season. You kind of got to know why they are here and how they're feeling about why they wouldn't go back to that team if they were offered to go there. The show does a pretty good job of, like, doing flashbacks, but not always enough, in my opinion. So still a really good show.
When you mentioned the show, it reminded me that I started watching Clarkson's Farm.
Oh, okay, good.
But only watched one and a half episodes.
Of season 1?
Of season 1.
Okay.
I was watching it, I think episode 2 I was watching while I was working, and then my wife and kids came home from school. Okay. And I'm like, okay, they're doing the sheep one.
Oh, yeah.
With the health issues the sheep were having, and I had to turn it off because,
Oh, it is not kid-friendly. No.
No, not kid-friendly at all. Especially that part.
Let's see how real farms work.
Yeah. I grew up on a farm. Yeah. I held the tail off to the side while a cow gave birth.
There you go.
When I was in grade 2 or 3. I think 2, 3.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
So, but you're enjoying it? Good?
Yeah, I am. I like it. I kind of want my dad to watch it because he was a farmer for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
It'll be hilarious to see his reaction. And especially, even just his reaction to Clarkson in general would be funny.
So this is the thing I've noticed.
More so.
This is the thing I've noticed. Like, I've tried getting my dad to watch, like, Top Gear or whatever. And he does not, like, my dad does not get British humor. Like, he just doesn't find it funny. So he didn't get Clarkson's humor in Top Gear. And my dad was also a farmer. So it'd be me showing him, here's Clarkson doing farming. And my dad would just be like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah,
guy's an
that's
idiot.
what my dad would do too.
Why is he doing? Well, he's just being an idiot now. Like, he's not even thinking about this. He's just doing this because he's doing it for the show. He's not doing it for. I'm like, Dad, just stop. It's funny. Just laugh. It's fine. I think my dad would take it too seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
that's why I don't know how much of this is Clarkson actually premeditating and planning for it to fail.
Yeah.
Versus it not, or maybe the show planning.
I think I think he plays up some of it, but I think a lot of it seems genuine. I think he just plays up certain aspects of it.
Like the tractor.
Yeah.
Like, he knew, right?
He's got to know.
He knew.
Yeah.
He has to have. Yeah, I can see him doing that, but at the same time, he would put some research in, just like he would with a car.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You would think, but...
People who haven't seen it. Clarkson's Farm with Jeremy Clarkson. So
yeah, go watch it.
It's on Amazon and Plex.
It's good. I'm going to go on to a movie that I watched.
I have 2 more, just so you know.
Okay. I got
they're
one.
cagey.
Okay, so let's save it for my 2. I got one that's not cagey. I watched a movie from 1986. Not cage related. This is a movie that I have heard in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
More than 4 separate YouTubers talk about this movie.
What?
And I had never seen it. And I was like, what is this movie?
But you had heard of it?
Maybe a long time ago, but just kind of dismissed it.
All right. What's this called?
It's called Rad. It is a BMX competition movie from the 80s. And it is fantastic.
Okay. I think I've heard of this.
I think it was Retro Rick talk about it. The Pixel guys. I don't remember. There's a lot of that. Very descriptive.
That's very descriptive. Especially because it's probably wrong. But
I know it's Aaron and Ricky.
I figured you were gonna say that. Yeah.
He's not
Retro
Aaron anymore.
Pixel,
He's Riff now.
Called. Yeah.
Pixel Game Squad. That's the one. And then who else was talking about it? I can't remember now. Anyways, within the span of like 2 to 3 weeks, this movie got brought up. Like, they found it on VHS or someone had in the store. It's like a $50 VHS tape if you can find it.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, what is this movie? I gotta see it. Anyways, downloaded it and watched it. It's great for all the same reasons. I'm gonna keep bringing it up. The same reasons I like Valley Girl, for the authenticity of the 80s. It's the same reasons I like this.
Okay.
It's the 80s vibe. It's the clothes. It's the overacting. It's the we have problems in life and we're going to solve them by riding our bikes.
Okay.
It's so cheesy. It's great. Anyways, go and watch Rad. They have shirts at the end where they've got to support their racing or their rider. They call themselves the Rad Racing Team. And they make shirts called Rad Racing. I immediately went online to try to find like a Rad Racing shirt.
Yeah.
They're all very expensive, so I'm waiting to find them on cheap, but
how cheap? Like
cheap.
T-Public?
Even T-Public, they weren't as cheap as I would like them to be. So.
Well, T-Public has sales often, right?
They'd have to, yeah, it wasn't on sale. The one that was on there was not on sale.
Yeah.
The cheapest one I saw was on Etsy. The thing is, they're all varying in quality as well of the graphic.
Yeah.
So the best one I saw was on Etsy. Okay. The Etsy one was on sale at the time. I just didn't pull the trigger. Yeah. I was like, I could spend, I'm going to spend like $30 to $40 on a T-shirt, and it seems like too much.
See, T-Public has it right now. They're on sale. Regular $30 a shirt, on for $22.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
22 is still expensive unless you buy like 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll watch. Anyways, watch Rad.
That reminded me of something else, and now I lost it. Just gone.
You're welcome.
Gone. Oh, T-Public. So I've continued to sell my Shark Anatomy T-shirt.
Mm-hmm. The neck one. Yeah.
Yeah. Did I tell you how much I sold in February?
You said you sold like 12 or something like that.
Yes. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was February because our last one was March, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So January I sold, it was $6 worth. I get like $2 to $4 a shirt depending on how much, or whether they're on sale or not. But February I sold $55 worth, and then March I just got $16 for the shirt sales for that.
Oh, nice.
And there's more sold already this month as well. I don't know where these people are buying this shirt. I still don't know.
It's taking off.
Yeah.
I gotta start making some shirts.
I do too. My coworkers actually, we have a quote board at work where people say things and we're like, that has to go on the board because that's a good one. And my coworkers decided that we need to add these shirts, like design shirts out of these quotes, and have random people buy it because they swear people would buy things that are for our inside jokes, but sometimes they're funny. Like one of them is lick it and see if it's salty. Is the quote. And it's referring to a battery charger that a customer got salt water on. And it taken out of context, it could mean other things. So
we have also lick it quotes as well.
So what I said to a coworker that my other coworker heard and had to laugh at right away was, what other multiplayer game have you bought recently to play alone? So he had to write that on the board right away. Yeah. It's fun.
It's good. Yeah.
But they want to make it into a bunch of shirts and try and sell them and make money to fund a team outing, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Like fuck this up. I'm not one to judge. Stupid is expensive.
Careful, you're giving away your ideas for free here.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah. Ingreso de agua. Was water ingress, which happened to an aircraft in a Spanish-speaking country. So, ingreso de agua. Yeah. I watched a Nicolas Cage movie.
Okay.
Raising Arizona.
Okay. A Coen Brothers film.
Yes, it is. It was pretty good. It wasn't like what I expected. I just always see the picture of him with the baby.
Yeah.
And it wasn't totally off, but
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I also was recording a bunch of tapes recently, and then it pops up on the tape. I think I messaged you right away with the picture.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could have watched it on a VHS tape instead of the download. But yeah. It was interesting. Again, Nicolas Cage is a womanizing, or more so, he gets obsessed with one woman, but he still does it in a skeezy way. But he's often playing the same character or very similar character to himself. It was a
very different movie than what I expected, especially from a Coen Brothers. It's not your typical Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, and John Goodman.
It is early. It is early Coen.
Okay.
So I think they hadn't quite figured out their style yet. So, but some people swear by that movie. Some people love it. I'm with you. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, moments were better than okay, but in general, it was an okay movie. Like especially for how much hype it has and how, I don't know, it just seems to be really popular. Like IMDb's 7.3 out of 10.
Yeah.
On it.
So I wonder what they're seeing that we're not.
Yeah.
So
Definitely
maybe
had
that's
character.
The nostalgia glasses.
Yeah, it could be. Because if I saw this years ago, I think it would be even better.
Mm-hmm.
I think. There's just been so much done these days.
Yeah. That's the thing, is the market is so oversaturated. When you see the stuff that came before, it just seems trite.
Or the concept in general seems overplayed or... Yeah.
So...
But it was still good. It was worth watching. I'm glad I watched it, especially having known about it for so long.
Yeah.
Still don't get the name of it because it doesn't really... I don't want to give away if anybody hasn't seen the movie anyway, but...
He's raising a baby named Arizona. It's not hard.
But the baby's not named Arizona.
Isn't it?
No.
I thought the baby was.
The parent's last name is Arizona.
I think that's the joke, right? Like...
Yeah. But they could have just done the real name, but it's not. It wouldn't flow as well. I think that's the reason.
Yeah, the name is strange, but it's not.
Yeah. I thought the baby was gonna be named Arizona the whole time, but
there's a play on words somewhere I'm not seeing, but yeah.
But anyway, that's enough of that. You got Nicolas Cage?
I got a Nicolas Cage. I watched The Cotton Club.
Ah, and what did you think of the Cotton Club?
You know what? Not in terms of quality. I would almost put this in the same category as Rumblefish.
Oh, really?
I don't think this is not a Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, yes, I agree with that. I actually rated them both as a D for our scale.
Okay.
But Cotton Club is a good movie. Just a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a high production, lots of good people who are good at acting. It tells a story that's cohesive, but Nicolas Cage is not in it much.
No, he's a side character.
Yeah.
He's the brother. He shows up here and there. He gets in trouble.
Like he's literally just there for a payoff in a story beat at the end. Ish. Yeah. Right? Like that's the only reason he's there.
Yeah. So it's hard to again talk about caginess. I did have a few problems with the movie. So the Cotton Club is a whites only bar that is attended to by African American talent. Mm-hmm. Right?
Exclusively,
Exclusively. So the
and same with the audience cannot be African Americans.
Yeah. I would say the patrons are only white, and the entertainers are African American. And so Richard Gere, a very young Richard Gere, is playing in this African American club. That's where he's discovered by this gangster, who is played by. I had his name the whole time, and as soon as I go to say it, it's gone.
I did not open the
James Remar. That's it. Okay. James Remar, which I'm not a fan of young James Remar. I much prefer him when he's older. He's a bit of an overactor when he's younger. Nicolas Cage is a bit the same. He's a bit of an overactor. Everyone's kind of compensating for their lack of experience.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's discovered by James Remar, who is a gangster. And he basically pulls Richard Gere into, hey, you're with me. You're in my gang now. You're gonna do some stuff for me. You're gonna come and play when I want you to play. And kind of get stuck down that path. Some of Richard Gere's motivations for fighting back didn't really make a lot of sense. Like he was going along with it fine, and then all of a sudden he just is mean and starts doing, bad things like spilling drinks on women for no reason. Just because he didn't like what they said to them. It's just kind of out of character, that kind of stuff. But the music in it is really good. The entertainment, like the dancing, it's all part of it. It's not a musical by any means. It's just focusing on the acts that are being played. Mm-hmm. It is co-written by Mario Puzo, who also wrote The Godfather. Mm. So you see a bit of those gangster influences coming in.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made it more interesting than any other quote unquote Nicolas Cage movie so far that I've seen.
And Francis Ford Coppola is also credited as a writer.
Yes, and director.
Nicolas Cage's uncle.
You know what? Francis Ford Coppola is basically responsible for bringing us Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I think so.
This so far that I've seen from his directing, it's the best movie I've seen him do so far. Every movie I've seen him do in release order, right? And I'm not talking about later.
Yeah.
I haven't been a fan of everything he's done so far. This one is good, but still, I'm not saying it's the best movie I've ever seen. It's a good movie, but I don't know. I'm not a Francis Ford Coppola fan yet. So we'll
I don't pay attention to writers and writers and directors are pretty much at all.
Okay, that is something that I focus on because I have gone down those rabbit holes. Same thing I do with actors. I'm like, I'm going to watch these actors' movies, and I kind of go 1, 2, 3.
That way I've done, but I've never done it.
I'll do the same with directors. I did that with Coen Brothers for a little bit.
It makes sense. I just don't think to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can see that style and how it progresses and things like that.
Yeah, I've done it with like one or two here or there, but not much.
Yeah. So, anyways, Cotton Club. It's good. It's long though. It's over 2 hours long. So, set some time aside if you want to watch it.
Mm-hmm. I watched it while doing dishes, and I don't remember what else.
That's a long time doing dishes.
Just getting stuff done. I think it was probably dishes and laundry and. Yep.
What's the next one?
My next one is on my list that I moved to the other side. Okay. My next and last one is Firebirds, 1990. I summarized it here as Top Gun, but with helicopters, and in a war on drugs, not just test pilots.
Okay.
So Nicolas Cage is the main character. Tommy Lee Jones is his instructor. And Cage is also a womanizer, but obsessed with one woman once again. Yeah.
Perfect.
Like it kind of comes out of nowhere at the beginning of the movie that he all of a sudden he likes this woman, and it was not the way I would expect it to have been revealed, but whatever. It was a fun movie. I mean, if I had to choose it or Top Gun, I would almost pick this movie over Top Gun, because I don't find that Top Gun's actually that entertaining of a movie. Having watched it for the first time last year.
And again, I think this is where the nostalgia glasses. This is where we're not seeing it, because I think Top Gun. When I was younger, I hated it because my parents loved it.
Okay.
When I watched it again, what is it, last year or 2 years ago? I loved it because it was so 80s, and it just gave me that hit. The same reason I like Valley Girl. Like Valley Girl is my callback now. The same reason I like that. It's just that callback of the 80s just hits so hard, and I love it. So, same reason I like Rad. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say. It was all right. It was nothing amazing and special, but I still liked it more than Top Gun. Top Gun, I just felt like didn't make any freaking sense, but
so
maybe that's me.
Do you think you liked it because it was a better movie, or because it was because you were doing this for like the Nicolas Cage thing? Because it had Cage in it.
I think in general, not just because of Cage. Like Tommy Lee Jones was good in it, and the story I think was the biggest thing, is it seemed to make more sense.
Yeah.
Even if it was like a stupid villain in it, but it still seemed to make more sense. They had a purpose. They weren't just test pilots testing things.
Yeah.
Right? Like they are actually doing this for a reason.
They were job, helping
a third party, or a third world, or whatever. I think it was Colombia or something like that, with a drug problem, and the drugs were affecting the states because they're getting imported in the states. So the U.S. will send troops to go help stop the drug dealers there.
Yeah.
Basically. So there's actually a purpose to it, and they go to a place, right? The story with him and his girlfriend was kind of a little bit stupid, but like she's in the army too. But he doesn't want her to be in the army because he wants her to be his wife and a homemaker and stay at home and raise kids.
Yeah. So
she's not allowed to be a pilot, but she is. So that's why they're not together. But then they start hooking up again anyway. It's kind of weird, but still better than Top Gun.
Well done.
And Cage was pretty cagey.
Cagey, okay.
Pretty cagey. Not off the rails cagey, but pretty cagey.
What year was that?
1990.
1990. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 6 years. 6 years after the movie I'm going to talk about next.
Oh.
Well, actually, technically, this came out the same year as Cotton Club. Cotton Club came out in 1984.
And this movie, Firebirds, was 4 years after Top Gun.
4 years after Top Gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, my next movie, I don't remember you talking about this one, and maybe you did. It was one called Birdy.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
You did talk about Birdy?
Yep.
Okay.
It was just weird. That was most of what I said about it, because it's hard to describe.
It is hard to describe. I actually like it, though.
You do? Yeah?
I do like it.
So I rated it as a B because of the caginess. Like, he's pretty cagey in that.
I guess so.
Mostly the later part. Like the parts that's supposed to be in the present tense, not in the past.
Yeah. When he's a little bit going out, being a bit extra.
Yeah.
Cagey. But I don't think he was trying. I think he was actually trying to be serious in those roles, right? This was before he had become known for doing that, and then leaned on it in later roles, right? This is him actually trying.
You haven't seen Race in the Sun? You have, right? Yeah, you did.
Not yet. What
okay.
year is that? I'm in 84.
That's also 84.
Okay.
And so is Cotton Club.
Cotton Club's 84, yeah.
So you pretty much have to watch Race in the Sun next. But Race in the Sun
them in order.
feels more like what you're describing to me. Where
Okay.
he's just being Nicolas Cage or just being an actor playing a role. But Birdy felt more like cagey, a little bit more cagey.
Okay.
At least
To
in
me-
the parts that's supposed to be modern times or like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it just felt he was told. Now, this was the first movie I've seen with him that wasn't directed by Francis Ford Coppola. So, anyways, let me explain the movie a little bit first so people can understand.
Yeah.
We're not just having a discussion and everyone's been left out of the loop here.
So the movie Birdy from 1984.
Yes. Is two guys who were not friends at the beginning. They become friends later. Nicolas Cage and Matthew Modine. Similar walks of life. Takes place shortly before the Vietnam War. Somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. Within 5 years of the Vietnam War. They become friends. They're both from rough parts of town. And Matthew Modine is obsessed with birds. Mm-hmm. And this is where when you say Nicolas Cage is a womanizer, I think this is where this plays, is because it's playing the opposite with Matthew Modine. Nicolas Cage is a womanizer. Mm-hmm. Matthew Modine is a birdizer, if you want, for lack of a better term.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where they're drawing that comparison. And without him being a womanizer, you'd be like, this is strange. Why did this guy love birds so much? And you look at Nicolas Cage, you're like, oh, because he likes women so much. Not they're directly related, but it's just a point of comparison.
Yeah, for a kid of that age, right?
Yeah.
They're just trying to give him something to be obsessed with.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is the typical guy obsessed with girls and getting some, whereas the other guy is just really obsessed with birds.
Yeah. Very obsessed with birds. To the point of eventually...
Creepily.
Yeah. To the point where he is being held in a military hospital in the psych ward, essentially because he thinks he's a bird. He's acting like a bird. And so the whole story is, how did he get to this position?
Pretty much, yeah.
How did it come to this?
And on the flip side, Nicolas Cage is burned, like his face is all bandaged up. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of revealing slowly how that happened as well.
Yeah. So they were both in the army, though.
Yes.
And so they both got injured and both came to the hospital. Matthew Modine came out and he's like this. I think he was hurt. He was hurt or injured much earlier, so he's been here longer. But Nicolas Cage just comes later. And so they bring Nicolas Cage in. He's like, hey, this is your friend. Maybe you can help him, come back to reality. So it's Nicolas Cage coming to terms with trying to help his buddy, Matthew Modine.
Yeah.
It's mostly just a story up to that point of how this goes here. Well, they don't explain to you, which I like, is... I think Nicolas Cage says it at one point in the movie, just as a throwaway line. He's like, you've got to come out of this or they're going to start looking into my head and they're going to start seeing how crazy I am. Mm-hmm. And that line didn't make sense until the end of the movie. Because at the end of the movie, actually, maybe we shouldn't talk about it, what the end of the movie is.
I think people want to know what you're talking about because I want to know if I picked up on it or not.
Anyways, at the end of the movie, things happen, but they only happen when Nicolas Cage is around.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you don't know if it's real or not.
Yes.
Right? And I thought that was cool. Anyways, my wife, I was here because we were working on her phone last night. And so she was down here working on work stuff while I had her phone open. The movie was playing on the screen over here. And so she was watching, and the whole time I just hear her going, this is weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
I'm like, yeah, it is weird. But it's kind of interesting. Anyways, it's the most interesting Nicolas Cage movie I've seen so far. It's not... I liked Valley Girl more than this movie in terms of in terms of entertainment, like Valley Girl's a one that I will watch again probably. This one I will watch again, but it's gonna take some time. It's gonna be one of those ones that I talk to somebody about and they're like, I want to see this. And
See, I almost feel like you feel about Valley Girl the way I feel about Peggy Sue Got Buried. Maybe. Because it's just an interesting story. And the time frame. And with that one, it's time travel, too.
I was going to say, I don't think Valley Girl's an interesting story. I just like it because it's super 80s.
Okay.
And it's funny. And it's ridiculous at times how it's ridiculous how 80s it is. And the things that happen, you're like, you could not do this now. You could not do this. Anyways. So, it's such a time and place movie. So, yeah. That's it. Go and watch Birdy. If you watch Birdy, I want to hear what you have to say. Please message me. I do these calls to action and no one does anything, but I'm going to try again.
Yeah. I'm gonna put something in the cage page. See if I can find a GIF for Birdy. I doubt it.
Probably not. That one's pretty obscure.
It's pretty obscure.
But that one's definitely gonna stick with me. I've been thinking about it. So I watched it last night because I was just like, man, I gotta watch at least 2 Nicolas Cage movies, or Derek's just gonna, take off. I'm trying to.
I only watched 2, but I watched them a while ago.
Okay, I'm trying to do 2 a month because otherwise it feels like homework and I'm not interested in doing it. So.
Yeah, I might have went crazy last week or last month.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or the one before. Now I forget which one it was, but.
Oh, either way. So. Well, do you have anything else pressing?
I can't find a GIF for this movie. At least not using the built-in tool in Discord.
You got to make one. I'll make one for you.
I'll find one on the internet, just not using that tool. I just need to do this and find one. But I do want to have one to share on the cage page. Yeah, I came across a good one. The cat.
Oh, the cat one, yeah.
I kind of wish there was a Nicolas Cage one if it's going to be the cage page. But anyway.
He didn't have a lot of good ones, considering his really face is half covered. So.
What else? That's all I got on my list. I was going to come up with some more quiz things to do, but I never did. I started to, and ChatGPT let me down.
That's okay. I think my voice is going to give out here soon, so I don't want to push it too much longer.
That's true. That's fine.
2.5 hours would be good. Bill will be happy. He gets to extra half hour out of his life. So. Oh, apparently we threw some shade at the Q Dogs last episode.
Yeah, I don't remember what we do for not listening or listening really late.
I don't remember, or maybe we did it on Twitter. I can't remember. Anyways, they mentioned it on not this Q Dog House, but last Q Dog House. They said they were listening to Not So Special, but Eric wasn't going to talk about it because we were throwing shade or something like that. I don't remember. Some kind of comment. Eric, I'm sorry. Please talk to us. Please.
He's talking to me on Twitter. So.
He's not talking to me, so he must be me.
I had to message him directly for him to answer me. So maybe that's
okay.
why.
That would do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Joe situation.
That's true. Speaking of Joe, he had a list. He was prepared last episode. He had a list of stuff he wanted to talk about, and I don't think we got to half of it. So I messaged him after the show, and I was like, hey, can you send me the list and we can talk about it on the next show? He said, yeah, I'll do it. So
Nothing.
I didn't get anything. So Joe, I'm calling you out. I need that list for next episode, please. Or we'll have you get back on and we can talk about it with you personally. That would be fun too. So we'll see how it goes. But
well, yeah, we probably won't get it. He's still Joe.
All right, that's gonna do it for me. My voice is gonna give out, and I need to go get some more water. So
yeah, I've been drinking water, and it's not helping.
Not helping. Yeah, it's one of those records. So thank you very much for listening, everybody. Please watch Birdy. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you all in a month. Bye.
Bye.